but also of the last 10 years. The Grizzlies making their 10th consecutive playoff appearance. The Cowboys have made 9 playoff appearances in the last 11 years. So these two teams are outstanding. They're experienced when it comes to playoff competition. And yes, I happen to agree that they are the 2 best teams in the playoffs this year.
And, Marty, not only are they mirror images statistically and in some phases of play on the field, 2 third-year head coaches who have had nothing but extraordinary success.
Joe Glenn is in his 3rd year after winning a couple of national championships at Division II Northern Colorado. He's already got 39 career wins. Think about that. That's an average of 13 per year. That's a lot of victories. Also, Tommy Tate, his 3rd season as head coach of the McNeese Cowboys, his 3rd consecutive playoff appearance. So obviously, 2 very talented head coaches, 2 very talented coaching staffs. And if this one plays out on paper like it's supposed to, or rather on the field, then it's going to be an outstanding game.
Dan, you'll be down on the field. That's where the action is. This promises to be an extraordinarily physical game.
Of course, and last week Vic King went out of the game against Montana State in the first quarter with a shoulder sprain. It's going to be interesting to see how he responds to some early contact from the Montana defense. And that's a defense that has 3 linemen still out of action tonight, but Tim Bush is back, so it's going to be an outstanding physical contest.
Both of these teams are very young, very deep. Montana, the defending national champion, and the Cowboys. The kickoff is straight ahead on KPLC Sports.
Wow, $48,000. That's how much you could save by refinancing right now, depending on what your rate is currently. Call us at AFI Mortgage for a free consultation. We'll visit with you for a few minutes, and we'll let you know if refinancing is an option for you. Hey, it's easy to do. We need 3 pieces of paper, and we can get this done for you in a matter of 15 to 16 working days. $300 million in home loans. That's how many we've done. Please call us 494-5626 or www.absolutelowеstrate.com.
Listen up, car buyers. Billy Navarre has some fantastic holiday news for you. Chevrolet just extended 0% financing for 5 years. 0 down payment and no payments until February 2003. For the entire month of November, 0, 0, 0, no interest, no down payment, and no payments until February. Add these tremendous savings to Billy Navarre's already low-volume prices, and you'll enjoy the holiday season and a new Chevrolet with payments and savings you don't want to miss. Shop and save big at Billy Navarre Chevrolet in Lake Charles and Sulphur.
A near-capacity crowd is already on hand, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people outside Cowboy Stadium waiting to get in on what is a chilly night in South Louisiana. But, Marty, for these Montana folks, this is downright balmy.
It certainly is. These guys are used to playing in snow, Lynn. I remember a memorable trip up there in 1994 in the first round of the playoffs. There was snow on the ground. It was only 20 degrees. These guys should feel right at home with a balmy 46 at kickoff.
And we're expected not to get too much lower than that as this evening progresses. McNeese has won the toss, and the Cowboys promptly want the football.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a smart thing to do. They want to take, actually, though, Lynn, I think Montana won the toss, deferred to the second half, but that's all right because the Cowboys are going to get the football. They'll have a chance to bring Scott Pendarvis and the offensive unit out and get things started right away. The winner of tonight's ball game will move on to face the Villanova team that knocked off Fordham today by a final score of 24-10. So we know one thing. The winner of the game will host a home game next week, whether that be Montana or McNeese State, and their opponent will be Villanova.
And meanwhile, Georgia Southern also picked up a victory, and Western Kentucky will play Georgia Southern in one of the semifinal games next week.
That's right. Western Kentucky, an upset winner over Western Illinois, 31-28. It was Georgia Southern 31, Maine 7.
McNeese will put its offense on the field first, averaging 33.4 points per ball game. Statistically, these teams are near mirror images of themselves. McNeese losing to only Big 12 powerhouse Nebraska this year in the toughest 1AA schedule in the country. And Montana stumbled in its last 2 regular season games, but handily beat Northwestern last week. The kickoff to the 4. 15, out to the 20, running to the far sideline and being bumped down hard at about the 26 or the 27 is Trahan, and that's where the Cowboys will put their offense on the field in pretty good shape. Moving from right to left on your television, and there is a north-northeast wind, sort of a crosswind blowing today.
I'll tell you what, I find it interesting. Look at the Montana players right there, Lynn. You can see them. They're all in their short sleeves. Very few of them are wearing any kind of a long sleeve protection from the weather. Meanwhile, the McNeese Cowboys, you look at some of those guys, and they're trying to bundle up and keep warm with some long sleeves as well.
We'll check the offensive unit for the Cowboys on the fly. Sophomore quarterback Scott Pendarvis takes the snap, hands off to the tailback, dancing up over the right side. King gets a little bit, not much, against this Montana defense, which is not as well known nationally as the Cowboys defense, but nonetheless has put up some pretty good numbers.
Well, I'll tell you, everybody seems to think of Montana as being an offensive team, and of course that's a well-deserved reputation, but these guys can certainly play some defense. Any team that makes it to this round of the 1AA playoffs has to be able to play a little defense.
2nd down and 7 for the Cowboys. We've just started. McNeese with its second play from scrimmage. Sam's in motion. Sams takes a handoff, turns the wing, and is bumped out of bounds on the far sideline in front of his own bench. Very close to a first down. Now, Sams has just rushed for the 20th time this year, so he's a guy who is not a stranger to getting the football as he comes right on the reverse.
Well, there's no doubt he is their big play performer. This young man is explosive in every sense of the word. As a punt returner, as a kick returner, as a wide receiver, and even in that situation where you see him being used as a running back.
All Southland Conference center Jason Davis from Lake Charles leads his team to the line of scrimmage on 3rd down and less than a yard. The fullback, Luke Lawton, digs for yardage, and the powerhouse appears to have the first down. He is so good in short yardage situations.
He certainly is, and you hear the crowd responding. That's not booing that they're doing. That is the chant of Luke. They love him here. He's a fan favorite. Well-deserved honor for him because he plays hard every single play.
A 6-foot, 248-pound junior fireplug from Lafayette. So the Cowboys pick up a first down and get a reset of the down marker at their own 38-yard line. Pendarvis will throw for the first time, wings it to the outside. It's overthrown, intended for Sams on the near sideline.
You know, an interesting situation there, Lynn, because last week Pendarvis came out against Montana State. I felt like maybe he was too excited. He kept overthrowing his receivers. He overthrew Sams a little bit right there, but I have a feeling that was more due to the Montana coverage than it was to any kind of a nerve problem.
Pendarvis has been an exceptionally accurate passer, 59.1%. He has suffered only 5 interceptions the entire year, 130 of 222, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. King rumbling over the right side, bolts his way to the 41 of 42 as the Cowboys go to the ground on 2nd and 10.
Very important to see Vic King in the lineup tonight and contributing. He was only in for 3 rushes last week, and of course he got injured on the 3rd one. However, that was a touchdown. And so he went out of the game, but despite his absence, Jacob Prim and Marcus Strahan were able to step in and really fill that hole. But it's nice to see him back in the lineup tonight.
Prim is a very capable backup when King goes to the sideline for a rest. 3rd down and a long 5 for the Cowboys. One back set now. Pendarvis will throw for it. Looking. He'll have to tuck it and run. He gets only back to the line of scrimmage. And so Montana, after yielding 1 first down, will get the ball back with the punt receiving team coming to the field.
That was outstanding defense by Montana. You can't really see downfield, but Pendarvis had nobody to throw to. Excellent work by the corners in the Montana defense. They really stuffed the Cowboys as they attempted to pass there.
Jefferson Heidelberger will return the punt for Montana. All he did last week against Northwestern was return a punt for a touchdown and a kickoff for a touchdown as the Grizzlies scored 6 different ways against the Northwestern Demons.
And if you don't think that's hard to do, think again. A field goal, an interception return, a punt return, a kickoff return, a rushing touchdown, and a throwing touchdown. And I can't even believe that I remember those.
We've got an early timeout as the Cowboys want to make sure everything is all right on the punting unit. Jason Cook will kick it. This will be his 64th kick of the year.
Jason Cook is a young man out of Sam Houston High School right here in the Lake Charles area. And we'll see his punt coming up after this timeout.
If you've been on a collision course, go to the source for collision repair, Lloyd Lau Collision Repair Center. As an ICAR certified collision repair center with ASC certified technicians, Lloyd Lau puts 28 years experience into the repair of all automotive makes and models, including motorhomes and diesel rigs. All paint and body work has a lifetime guarantee, and you can take advantage of fleet contracts and discounts. And they even have experienced insurance claim handlers to help ease all your worries. Lloyd Lau Collision Repair Center, 2906 Napoleon Street, Sulphur.
I didn't know you needed a new boat.
I didn't need a new boat. I wanted a new boat.
You sound like Edie.
What do you need a new boat for? I said, fishing. I didn't need a new boat, but it was a good time to trade. What I needed was a little loan.
Yeah? And how was that?
Easy as fishing.
When you need a hand, Cameron State Bank will lend it. Cameron State Bank, personal banking at its best.
I have to focus, gather everything I've learned, all my successes, all my sacrifices, all my pain, and concentrate that energy into one moment. That's the moment I'll use every single day of my life. There are 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
After an initial first down, the Cowboys will punt it from their own 42-yard line. Cook has averaged 36.7, a high snap from Ferranti, but he feels it, hits a wobbler off to the right side. Heidelberger picks it up at the 23, running to the far sideline, and he takes a big hit as he's knocked out of bounds at the 26.
You can hear the crowd responding to that one. They like the hit that they put on Heidelberger. Jason Cook's a young man in his first full year as the punter for the Cowboys. He's had to struggle with some consistency problems, and that was Ryan Garrison knocking Heidelberger out of bounds. When you get it over in the corner like that, you're almost using the out of bounds as another defender, and that's what the Cowboys did. They simply had to push him out, and now Montana gets the ball, 1st and 10 on the 26-yard line.
John Edwards, the senior quarterback who is playing with a slightly separated left shoulder, will work from shotgun formation. He likes to throw it, and Montana comes out in a spread offense, 2 wideouts to both sides. Edwards looking, working, firing short. It is caught at the 32-yard line by Talmadge, a good-looking freshman from California. He had a big game last week. He missed a couple of games in the latter part of the season due to an elbow injury. You can see his left elbow heavily taped up right there. Talmadge, though, a first-year player with all-conference credentials.
I'll tell you what, they've talked highly of this young man. I've heard the Montana coaches and even people affiliated with the program say he is the real deal, very sure-handed.
A 6'4", 200-pound first-year player. That was his 45th catch of the year. Freshman David Gober is in the backfield and takes the handoff. Running to the right side, check it, that's J.R. Waller. Waller also is a first-year player. That's his 167th rush of the season. He's averaged 4.5. And Gober normally starts. That freshman is averaging 4.4. So although they don't run it as much as they did last year, they lost an All-America tailback. They still can be effective on the ground. It's 3rd and short.
Gober, a young man that suffered a concussion during the game last week against Northwestern State, didn't even make the trip to Lake Charles this weekend.
3rd down and a yard to go. Blocking back right side. Edwards wants to throw under pressure, has to heave it into the Montana bench. And the pressure from Hadley Prince forced Edwards into an early and errant throw. Watch Prince coming from the secondary.
Hadley Prince is so fast for a strong safety, but they almost play him like a linebacker in the Cowboys' defensive scheme. He's a Buck Buchanan All-American Award candidate and one of the prize players on this McNeese defense.
So the Cowboys promptly will get the football back as Montana picks up nothing on its first 3 plays. Sams, who suffered a groin injury earlier this year, will return the punt. The snap is dropped, but the kick is away under no pressure, a wobbler. It takes a Montana roll across the 30. Sams can do nothing but let it roll dead at the 28-yard line.
Good field position for the Cowboys, and I thought it was a smart move by Sams to let that one alone. He was obviously not going to return that for any kind of gain at all.
Let's take a look at the Cowboys up front. The left tackle, Cody LeBlanc, a 6'5", 300-pound sophomore. Dwight Hudler, the left guard, a 6'2", 304-pound junior. Jason Davis anchors the middle from Lake Charles, a 6'1", 332-pound senior all-conference performer. The right guard is Mitch Sawyer, 6'1", 279. He's also a senior. And the right tackle, James Roden, a 6'4", 296-pounder. Sams in motion. King up the middle, gets a yard or 2 as he stops short of the 30.
Big King, I'll tell you what, I think they're going to just plan to move him up the middle all night long. Last week against Montana State, the Cowboys held on to the football for great lengths of time by simply pounding it at Montana State. And in the 4th quarter, it really wore the Bobcats down, and the Cowboys were able to pull out and hold on for that 21-14 victory.
The Grizzlies have only allowed 99 yards per game on the ground, holding the opposition to 2.8 per try.
This is a game of strength against strength. It really is.
Well said. 2nd and 8. Pendarvis back. Launches it deep to the outside and overthrows by a wide margin Jermaine Martin, who is the all-time leading career reception maker in McNeese football history. But Martin had no chance to climb the ladder and get that one.
Jermaine Martin's only 5'6", and I think you'd have to be about 12 foot tall to be able to catch something like that. Not only did he overthrow him, he really overthrew him.
So a couple of throws, and perhaps Pendarvis is adrenalized a little bit. Both of them have been well over the mark.
Same thing last week against Montana State. He really started out overthrowing his receivers. It's the same exact thing tonight so far after just 2 throws.
Shotgun formation, Pendarvis back. Has a pocket, now runs to his right, looking, pressured, and dumps it off into the ground to avoid the sack. And so the Cowboys do nothing on their 2nd possession and will punt it back to the Grizzlies.
And I'll tell you what, this is a field position game, and so we're going to have to see a good punt coming up from Jason Cook. But as you see, Pendarvis is rolling out to his right, and again, he had absolutely nobody to throw to. Luke Lawton covered by 3 defenders.
That was the defensive tackle John Cahill chasing Scott Pendarvis. So here's the 2nd punt of the night by Jason Cook. Heidelberger is waiting at his 32-yard line on the hash mark. Here come the Grizzlies, and the kick is away. Nice hang time, hanging like a box kite, and it bounces. Heidelberger picks it up, avoids 1 tackle, takes a hit at the 40, and struggles up to about the 44, and it appeared that Luke Lawton was the first to get to him after it was nearly misfired on the punt. We've got a timeout. Montana will get it for the 2nd time. There is no score early in the 1st quarter from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Time to bring your home decor into this decade? Looking to make this a Christmas to remember? Dreaming of a vacation, but your wallet is keeping you home? Planning a big purchase? Think First. We offer loans for all reasons. And for a limited time, no closing costs on consumer non-real estate loans. Think First. First Federal Bank of Louisiana, an equal housing lender.
Fill with bulk. Check out the goodies. Custom fit truck seats, different styles and colors. Bump shields and vent visors. Husky floor mats and liners. Bed covers, roll and lock, and the all-new track top at much lower prices. Hitches and accessories. Girl guards, V-gays, headache racks in stock and price to move. Bed slides, bed extenders, spray-in bed liners, and truck racks. Plenty of wheels and tires, and lots of 2 boxes. Thanks for shopping at Falks. Go to Falks, go to Falks, go to.
Every city has a story to tell, with plenty of news to go with it. Today more than ever, it's important to stay current and informed with the latest news and information. There are many sources available, but few deliver. Get the whole story for so little, a seemingly timeless source that you've depended on for years. The American press is still the best source for the most in-depth news coverage that matters most to you. It just makes sense to subscribe today.
It's a chilly night in Lake Charles. So far, Marty, I think things have gone according to script. 1 first down for the Cowboys and had to punt it away. 2nd possession, no movement offensively, and the Cowboys forced Montana into 3 and out. The Grizzlies have it for the 2nd time.
It'd be kind of funny if this were nothing but a defensive battle.
Over the middle it goes. It's broken up. Intended.
I think when you think of Montana McNeese State, you think of a high-scoring game with a lot of points on the scoreboard. But, you know, we could play the first half, and there might not be any score the way these 2 defenses are playing early. Good coverage right there by Ashiel Fairchild out of Baton Rouge. Montana looking for a flag, but none there. That's just good coverage.
Tate Hancock was the intended receiver over the middle. 2nd down and 10. Edwards under center, backpedals, looking, working the screen, and the receiver is tackled behind the line of scrimmage at the 42-yard line.
Rod Royal corralling the ball carrier right there. Rod Royal, the transfer student out of the University of Florida. He has really come on and played some solid linebacker for the Cowboys this year. He's the junior transfer out of Baton Rouge.
He knocked Waller down after the reception, but a loss of 2. And in fact, Royal, with a couple of interceptions this year, 128 tackles. That's number 1 on the team, and 4 sacks. 3rd down. Montana this season has been successful on 36% of its 3rd down attempts. Edwards is flushed. throws, caught near midfield. Talmadge makes the reception, but it is short of the yardage needed to keep this drive alive.
And so we'll have another punt. Edwards falls back to pass. He finds his receiver. Montana making no bones about it. They're going to throw the football here tonight, and at least they're completing some passes. However, they're just not going to be enough to pick up some first downs.
Chris White, the cornerback, pushed Talmadge out of bounds. He kept the play in front of him very nicely.
I tell you, the Cowboys are also playing 8 men in the proverbial box, so to speak. They've got so many people on the line of scrimmage, they're almost daring Montana to throw the football.
Sams works to his left, takes the punt, and is thrown down immediately back at the 17-yard line. Terrific coverage by Montana. There is no score with 8:44 remaining in the first quarter. We'll be right back.
This holiday season, Honda's got great deals on new sport and utility ATVs. Qualified buyers can get $29 payments for the first 6 months with a Honda card, or lock in our lowest rate of the year, a 4.9% fixed APR through Honda Financial Services. Plus, you can get up to $300 in bonus bucks when you purchase select models. But hurry, gifts that go are going fast.
Come in for the holidays and save at Honda of Lake Charles, 5607 Common Street, 477-4993.
We start our banking with a relationship, and the key to that relationship is your success. Jeff Davis Bank is about local, dedicated professionals with the knowledge to guide you and the time to listen. We've been part of the community for over 55 years, and we care. If your goal is owning a home, boat, or car, starting a business, or planning your finances, we're there for you. Our commitment is to your success. We're Jeff Davis Bank, and our prime interest is you.
Here's another great stocking stuffer from CNC Audio Video and Appliance, a Whirlpool or KitchenAid side-by-side refrigerator. It may be a little hard to wrap, but I guarantee it'll bring Christmas cheer to your kitchen. For as little as $7.99 for a Whirlpool side-by-side with ice and water through the door. And it's guaranteed by our legendary service after the sale. So decorate your kitchen for the holidays with Whirlpool or KitchenAid from CNC Audio Video and Appliance, where we always appreciate your business. Hey, I've been good.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage on KPLC of Montana. McNeese football, along with Marty Briggs. I'm Lynn Rollins. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys as they work from their own 18-yard line. King with a flag down, probes the left side. He crosses the 21. He's knocked down, but we'll check the first penalty marker of the game.
Got to think that's got to be some type of holding or procedure, but I didn't see anybody jump, so let's wait till the referee makes his call.
These officials are out of the Southern Football Conference, and it will go against the offense.
Looks like we're going to push the Cowboys back.
Aerial shift. 2 men moving in the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
I think that's the tight end, Jeff Hamilton, number 85. He was going in motion before the snap of the football. Don't know if he was set for the requisite 1 second that he was required to.
Montana has given up 18.2 points per game. Only 99 on the ground. 230 yards on average through the air. 1st and 15. Pendarvis looking, has a pocket, fires it, knocked down, and almost intercepted as that ball was deflected at the 20-yard line.
23 for Montana. We'll look at the roster and tell you that that is Kevin Edwards, 6'2 freshman out of Spokane, Washington. Dangerous pass by Pendarvis. He slips on the play, doesn't get some good footing, and I'll tell you what, that could have been returned for an easy 6 by the Grizzlies, so the Cowboys catch a break there.
Edwards is listed as a backup nickelback, but like McNeese, Montana uses a lot of people, really doesn't have a solid 1st and 2nd string. They are very, very deep and very, very talented, as are the Cowboys. 2nd down on the draw. King running hard, bolts over the 20, leans forward to the 21 or 22.
Puts the Cowboys in a much better position, obviously, for a first down coming up on the 3rd down play. Look at how this young man runs. Nothing fancy about him. He just kind of lowers his shoulder, moves some people around, and picks up a few extra yards after the initial contact.
And did you see that driving block by Jason Davis, the all-conference center? That keyed the lane for Vic King.
Jason Davis out of Barb High School. The knock on him out of high school was he was too short to be a major college football player, but he's proven that he is Division I talent.
3rd down and about 6. Short drop, quick gun over the middle. It is incomplete. Thrown outside of the receiver, Britt Broadhead. And Pendarvis has not been able to zero in on his targets early in the first quarter.
No, he certainly hasn't. He looks a little erratic, frankly. He's usually a better and more accurate passer than this. And he had Broadhead, it looks like, in a position to make a catch, but the throw is just too low.
So now Jason Cook will punt for the third time.
Jefferson Heidelberger back to receive the punt. He's a sophomore out of Nevada City, California.
The kick is away. A knuckleball. Heidelberger takes it at the 43. Eludes one tackler, eludes another. He's into the Cowboys territory. Fumble at the 44, and the Cowboys say they're on it. The officials will burrow under the pile, and we'll see who's got the football. It's McNeese. It is Prince.
And look who has it. That, of course, being Hadley Prince. That young man is always around the football. Heidelberger gets into some traffic, and the ball is knocked loose. And I can't tell if that's Prince who comes up with it or not. Who knocks it out, rather. What's this? It looks like they're giving the ball to the Grizzlies.
Well, apparently there's been an overrule. That ball was knocked loose.
Yes, that was Prince who made the initial hit and knocked the ball loose, and we thought he recovered it under the pile.
The Cowboys think he did. He came out with it, but there's been a reversal in Montana.
And we have a new quarterback for the Grizzlies.
It's Brandon Neal, who played one series against Northwestern last week, went 4 for 4, and led Montana to an early touchdown. He also is a senior from Missoula.
So now you have to ask yourself, why is he in the game? Was Edwards hurt on a previous series, or did the coaching staff just feel like they want to get this man into the game somehow?
It's the latter case, Marty. They like to work him in. He's had good numbers in a backup role. He is a fan favorite in Missoula, and he's a 72% passer, but he's only thrown 18 balls, completed 13, no interceptions, 3 touchdowns. It's just a little change of pace here, as they did last week in the first quarter. Neal, a 6'3", 215-pound. Like Edwards, he's a senior. He'll throw from shotgun formation, looking right, pressured, gets it away. It's caught at the 40. Talmadge works downfield across the 30, and the freshman is knocked down at the 24-yard line. Good pressure, good coverage, but Talmadge was able to make the play and then avoid a tackler.
Well, I'll tell you, missed tackles can be pretty costly in this game tonight. The Cowboys had him wrapped up, but Chris White just couldn't hold on, and that led to about an extra 15 yards for the Grizzlies before finally being brought down by Hadley Prince. Now, Brandon Neal, here's a nice little trivia question for you. Went to CM Russell High School in Great Falls, Montana. The other quarterback you might have heard of from there, Ryan Leaf, the former NFL bust, number 2 draft pick.
2 wideouts to the left side. Neal backs up. He'll take the shotgun snap from Garth Inger. Looking right, throwing right, missing badly to the outside. That ball was thrown into the Montana bench.
And we have a late flag coming in.
There is a flag down after the play.
I don't know if we had any funny stuff going on over there, but usually when a flag comes in that late, it's usually a personal foul.
Connor Malloy, one of 2 huge tight ends, was the intended target. Let's check the penalty marker. This could be very valuable yardage for both teams.
I'll tell you, this is one of those areas of the field that is very valuable, and it looks like it's going across against Montana.
After the play, personal foul on the offense, hands to the face, 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Hands to the face, so I was right on that one. It was a personal foul. Somebody got a little too anxious after the play was whistled dead. So now, Montana, a very costly 15-yard penalty, will move them back, and they're almost at the 40-yard line, positioned at the 38.
They need to get to the Cowboy 13 to keep this drive alive. 2nd down, and very long for the Grizzlies. Neal, with Waller to his right, sends receivers to both sides. Draw. Neal looking for blocking. Scrambles to the 30. He's knocked off his feet at the 28-yard line. Let's check some of these big fellows up front for the Grizzlies, and they are huge, especially tall. Dylan McFarland, the left tackle, 6'6", 290, a junior. The left guard is Corey Proctor, 6'5", 295, a sophomore. Garth Inger, a 6'4", 275-pound sophomore center. The right guard is 6'5", 295, a junior, Derek Decker. And John Skinner, 6'6", 310, the right tackle and a junior. No seniors in the offensive line, and only 3 seniors among the top 22 for Montana, a very young team, as is McNeese.
And number 72, McFarland, is being touted for All-America honors. That's a big man when you're talking about 6'6", 290. But surprisingly, they're probably going to need to get him a few pounds more if he wants to make a career in the NFL.
Well, the tight ends are not pixies either. Connor Malloy, 6'5", 250, a sophomore. The guy who plays behind him and made a couple of catches last week against Northwestern is Willie Walden, a 6'5", 275-pound lumbering sophomore tight end. 1 senior, 4 juniors, 4 sophomores, 2 freshmen on the starting 11 for Montana.
It's a young team, and you know they're going to be around for a long time, much like the McNeese Cowboys. Many seem to think that the Cowboys will be just as good, if not better, a year from now because they are such a young team. However, they lose so many key performers on their offensive line. It's going to be awful hard for them to repeat the success unless they can solidify that all-important position.
I'm not betting against Tommy Tate and his staff. It has been an excellent first 3 years under his leadership.
It certainly has. Anybody who can lead a team to the playoffs their first 3 years as a head coach, well, obviously they're doing something extremely, extremely good.
3rd down, about 16 facing the Grizzlies, who convert 36% of their 3rd down tries, but probably far less than that on 3rd and 16.
Well, 3rd down, very critical. I don't know how the Grizzlies have done all season long, but this certainly is a huge one. They might even be too far out of field goal position if they don't make this, or at least get a nice gain.
Neal looking, has a man in the flat, throws it out that way. It's caught, but he is knocked down at the 25-yard line. Tate Hancock with the reception. And now this will bring up that's Waller on the reception coming out of the backfield. Chris Snyder is the field goal kicker if Montana elects to put him on this turf. He's got a long leg, but not necessarily accurate, only 17 of 30. He missed 3 last week and converted 1. 57, though, is his best. So he's got a leg that can hit it deep, but not necessarily between the uprights.
And yet, amazingly, only a junior, 3rd all-time in McNeese career scoring. And so he's got another year, and he's well within reach of reaching the Montana all-time career scorer, Johannes Humphrey, the running back who graduated just a year ago.
He was the All-America about whom we spoke earlier. Snyder has not missed an extra point. He's 48 out of 48, but only 17 for 30 in the field goal department. He's also had a couple of them blocked.
And
this the Cowboys are darn good in special teams.
A 42-yard attempt. He's got a little wind coming over his left shoulder that he's going to have to deal with. This is not going to be an easy kick.
It's away. It is long enough, and it is good. So Snyder, who hooked 3 badly last week, drills this one down the middle, and Montana takes a 3-0 lead after an exchange of punts, and the field position gradually has favored the Grizzlies as this first quarter has moved along.
Well, it must be the balmy weather conditions. He's enjoying kicking in. Yeah, field position is so very critical. The defenses are obviously having a big part in that. The offenses are not moving, really. Even though Montana got the ball downfield, that wasn't a drive of beauty by any means.
Marty, how's this for first quarter dominance by Montana? With that field goal, the Grizzlies now have outscored the opposition this year 128-29 in the opening period, and the Cowboys have been nearly that dominant with a 95-45 advantage.
Well, they're obviously doing something right. You don't get those kind of numbers unless you know what you're doing. So obviously Joe Glenn and his coaching staff drilled it into their players that, look, we've got to jump on top early, stay on top, and don't let a team back into a ball game.
4 minutes and 58 seconds remain in the first quarter, and Snyder's field goal has given the Grizzlies a 3-0 lead. The winner plays Villanova next week. Western Kentucky and Georgia Southern will get together in the other semifinal game.
And, of course, Western Kentucky is a team that came into Cowboys Stadium earlier this year, and the Cowboys practically dominated the Hilltoppers, I believe, winning that one by a final of 38-13.
Here's the kickoff, headed to the 4-yard line. 10, 15, out to the 20, the 23, and a flag comes in from the near side. The field judge, literally on the opposite side of the field, threw a late flag, so he saw something away from the play.
That's amazing when somebody that far away from the football can throw his flag. But, yeah, early indication. Well, look at this against Montana. Montana players were actually running off the field saying it was against McNeese. Oh, now they just corrected themselves. Yes, it is against the Cowboys.
You're right, though. The initial indication was against the Grizzlies. So that's 2 overrules of sorts in the first quarter. Although that obviously was just a mistake in pointing to the wrong school.
Sure. This crew out of the Southern Conference.
Turn team, 10-yard penalty, be 1st and 10, McNeese.
So an illegal block in the back. That's a costly 10 yards.
So the Cowboys will start this possession on their own 13-yard line.
Marcus Strahan picked up the ball. Look, it looks like he has a nice wall of blockers in front of him. He decides to cut right.
You see it? That was the push right there. Pretty good eyes from the other side of the field to see that little push in the back. Running wide right, Martin cannot turn the corner, manages to scoot upfield a little bit. Martin's 10th rush of the year, averaging 7.2. The Cowboys like to get their wide receivers involved on occasion running the football.
Well, they certainly do. That play is not one that we haven't seen already many times this year. I'm almost surprised, though, we haven't tried going to the wide receiver, rather the tight end, Jeff Hamilton. He was awful silent a week ago. It probably took to the third quarter before we started throwing in his direction. I would think that he might be more involved now as the game moves along.
He caught 22 balls during the season, an all-Southland Conference performer. King running up into the middle, tries to duck under a tackler and doesn't get much. It will be 3rd and long for the Cowboys, who trail 3-0 with 4 minutes remaining in the first period.
King hasn't had much luck with that play up the middle. Montana doing a good job of plugging the holes and certainly closing down his running lanes.
Montana held Northwestern to 65 yards rushing a week ago. A conversion down here for the Cowboys. 40.5% on 3rd down. That's excellent. Pendarvis looking, flush to his right, trying to find somebody, gets rid of it, heaves it up into traffic, incomplete, knocked down, intended for Martin, but very good coverage in the secondary by the Grizzlies.
I'll tell you what, again, Pendarvis really doesn't have anybody to throw the football to. Flushed out of the pocket because of the good pressure up the middle. He's just trying to find anybody and hope that they come down with it. It certainly wasn't going to happen on that play.
So now the Cowboys will punt from deep in their own end. And on every exchange, Montana has come up with better field position. Heidelberger is waiting at midfield. Cook has time, smacks it. Heidelberger lets it bounce, and it bounces off one of the Cowboys at about the 49-yard line. And so the Grizzlies will start this drive on the Cowboy side of midfield, leading 3-0. Montana, the defending national champion, against number 1 ranked McNeese.
Huey Gardner was the man down there. It bounced off him, so of course the referees have no choice but to place the ball down where it touches the McNeese Cowboy. And so now 49 yards to go for Montana, and here we see Edwards back in the play, quarterback for the Grizzlies.
And this is the pattern that Montana used last week. Neal only played the 1 series, completed 4 passes, and got his team into the end zone, but did not come back into the ball game.
Cowboys employ something just like that, so it wouldn't surprise me we see Ryan Corcoran at some point early in this game. And it looks like we're going to have movement on the offensive line for Montana.
You can see the field getting scarred a little bit. There were tremendous rains here in Lake Charles Tuesday and Wednesday. And although the weather has been nice the last couple of days, it will take at least 2 or 3 more days for this field to get rid of all that moisture.
No doubt about it. It looks like it is getting a lot of heavy emphasis of play right there in the middle of the field. It's starting to chop up a little bit. And there it was, illegal motion. It's almost like the Montana guys were spooked by what the Cowboys were doing. Once again, placing a lot of defenders right up on the line of scrimmage.
A spread formation for the Grizzlies. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Edwards wants it in shotgun formation. He backpedals, throws it quickly to the outside. It's incomplete.
You know, Scott Stoker of Northwestern State was on this staff just a week ago. He was talking with Tommy Tate and mentioned it. He said, you know, if we made one mistake, it was perhaps blitzing too much. Montana hurt us on the blitz. So I think that what McNeese is planning to do is perhaps show blitz some this evening, and then maybe fall back into coverage, and hopefully that will confuse Montana.
Dane Oliver was the intended receiver on the left side, but the early throw was out of his reach. 2nd and 15, same formation. Edwards has thrown for more than 3,100 yards this year. He changes the play. He's back, deep drop. Outside throw is incomplete, intended out there for Peterson. And it's 3rd down and very long for the Grizzlies.
Here's Edwards dropping back to pass, but Ashiel Fairchild has some good coverage on the receiver over there, which was number 30, Tate Hancock, sophomore out of Salina, Kansas. You know, I'm very impressed with the fact that Montana has kids from as far away as Florida on their roster. They are truly recruiting nationally now.
Edwards surveys the field. Now he's flushed, gives ground, looking. Prince has him. Edwards still on his feet, and down he goes. Hadley Prince was holding on for dear life and finally got some help from Jim Abram.
Jimmy Abram was finally able to get him. It looked like he was going to slip out of the grasp of one Cowboy defender, but then here comes Abram. You notice he was on the blitz at his linebacker position, coming right through the line of scrimmage. He gets knocked down, but to Abram's credit, watch now as he gets back up. Hadley Prince will corral him initially, and here comes Abram back into your screen from the right-hand side, and finally is able to get Edwards knocked down.
So the drive, which started near midfield, is backed up all the way to the Montana 33-yard line. And Mark Spencer will strike it. Left-footed kicker hits a nice one. High, angling away from Sams. He circles it. He's got it at the 26, and he's bumped out of bounds right where he caught it. Excellent coverage by Montana.
Absolutely. A nice high kick was enabled the Montana defenders to get down there. Hang time is so very important, almost more important than distance for a punter.
2 minutes and 12 seconds remain in the first quarter. Montana 3. McNeese nothing, and the Cowboys got an early first down, but have not moved the ball since then.
It's really about time, and here we go, just like I thought, Lynn. Here is Ryan Corcoran. He is the transfer from Louisiana Monroe, the hometown kid out of Barb High School. He's almost their designated passer, and already he goes to the air.
Sams has it in the flat, turns the wing, dances around, and gets out to about the 31-yard line. Well, Corcoran has completed 61% of his passes. That's a pretty good relief pitcher.
He's very good. I'll tell you, he came in against Nebraska earlier in the year. The game was pretty much in hand for the Cornhuskers, but he really did some good things. In fact, led them to their very first score. So I would think the Cowboys now, with Corcoran in the game, are probably going to try and throw it a little more consistently.
We come up on the 92nd mark in the first quarter. I formation, 2 receivers left. The handoff goes to Jacob Prim, his first try of the night. Prim cracks his way to the 35, trying to follow the right side of the line, Davis, Sawyer, and Roden.
The Cowboys have kind of that three-headed monster as at the running back position. They start off with Vic King, they bring in Jacob Prim, and in the next series or two, I'm sure you're going to see Marcus Trahan.
Prim averages 4.1 yards per carry. He has scored 8 times. That was his 119th carry of the year. 3rd down and 1, and a very important conversion opportunity for the Cowboys. They have not had a first down since very early in the game. Prim leans, bouncing, continued effort, gets up to the 38.5, and that's good enough for the first down.
You never know how something like that, seemingly so small, can fire up a team. But you saw how Prim brought a new energy into the lineup, just bouncing off some Montana defenders. Now the Cowboys have built some momentum. They've got a first down.
And they mark it at the 39.
Look at that. 4 Montana defenders needed to bring down Prim.
Corcoran, the 6'2", 198-pound junior, trying to ignite this McNeese offense. 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers for the Grizzlies. Corcoran will throw, looks, fires over the middle, incomplete, intended for B.J. Sams. But again, good coverage. Martin was running deep. Sams on a crossing route, and Corcoran threw it too wide.
He certainly did. He didn't lead Sams very well at all. Now, you see Corcoran with the little warming pack that he's keeping his hands in right now. I'm kind of wondering how the cold weather is affecting the McNeese quarterbacks and their ability to throw tonight. It's not wet, it's not slippery, but it is cold, and perhaps their hands aren't adapting well enough.
High formation, 2 receivers right. Toss back Prim, running to the near side, puts his hand down. That can only scramble for a yard or 2. He's knocked down short of the 40. Virtually no gain. 3rd and long for the Cowboys. I wonder if Corcoran has that little chemical pack like you're wearing in your shoes to keep warm.
I'll tell you what, for you folks at home who are staying warm and maybe sitting by the fireplace, it's cold out here, so enjoy it.
That's the end of the first period. McNeese trails after the field goal, 3-0.
At the Popeyes Chicken Festival, you won't find any deals on buckets of bland, boring chicken. Just Popeyes kicking New Orleans-style chicken. This chicken rocks! Ah! And right now, you can get special deals on Popeyes' unique flavor. Get 3 pieces and a biscuit for only $2.79. That's 3 pieces and a biscuit for only $2.79. Or get Popeyes Fryers dozen. Not 12, but 13 pieces of Popeyes chicken for only $10.99. That's 13 pieces for only $10.99.
Need to upgrade your existing PC, network your home or entire business? LB Computers can take care of all your computer needs, including repairs, installation of Cox cable internet, and locating those hard-to-find computer items. LB Computers has the fastest repair turnaround in the Lake area. Don't let those computer problems drag you down this season. Come see LB Computers where all inventory prices have been slashed just in time for Christmas. LB Computers at 3823 Ryan Street, 2 doors down from Blockbuster Video, or call 474-9744.
For those who wear caps, for those who wear scarves. For ice skaters, for tree trimmers. For Mrs. Claus, for Mr. Claus. For his little helpers. For Donner, for Vixen. For Rudolph. For those under the mistletoe. For the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. For dreidel spinners. For carolers. For the festival of lights. For gift wrappers. For givers, for receivers. For families. For friends. For sleigh bells.
Welcome back, everyone. There you see some of this capacity crowd here in Cowboy Stadium hoping to get revved up. 3rd and 10 as we start the second quarter. The Cowboys trail 3-0 after Snyder's field goal. Corcoran in trouble, steps up into the pocket, has to get rid of it. He's hit from behind as he tries to scramble, and he picks up only a couple. It will bring up 4th and long for McNeese.
When Corcoran left the pocket, it looked like he was going to have some room to run and might even be able to get a first down, but Montana, with some pretty good team speed themselves, they were able to close in on him. As he takes off to his left, it looks like he's got some room ahead of him, but Montana, look at their defensive linemen. Those guys can really move.
They really do. That was Tim Bush, who missed last week's game with a head injury, but has 10 sacks during the regular season, an all-Big Sky performer, and he's only a junior. Cook sends a flat spiral downfield. It bounces at the 25, picked up by Heidelberger at the 18 to the 20. Heidelberger breaking tackles and moving upfield across the 30 to the 34-yard line. And now a very late flag is thrown by the referee, who was perhaps 25 yards behind the play.
So obviously that would lead me to believe that perhaps there's some more shenanigans after the play was whistled dead. Here's a look at Huey Gardner, and he had the first lick at the Montana ball carrier, which is Jefferson Heidelberger, but wasn't able to corral it. Perhaps he wasn't going full speed or something. He kind of let up. Heidelberger found room to run.
Personal foul against the Cowboys. Marty, in a game of this magnitude, every play must be played hard but intelligently. You just cannot give up unneeded yardage. These two teams are too evenly matched and too good, because they will, if you get a nick in this ball game, they'll turn it into a full-fledged infection.
Well, you'd like Montana to earn their yardage. Instead, we're actually giving them the yardage. That's 15 less yards that they've got to work with now.
McNeese actually with a couple of first downs in that first quarter, only 1 for Montana. Edwards throwing to the outside, incomplete, trying to get it to Talmadge. And very nice coverage on the near side. Keith Smith in coverage there for the Cowboys, who have played so well defensively the entire year.
The strength of the Cowboys is their defense. Of course, they play that 4-2-5. Well, that's kind of a misnomer, because you notice they bring Hadley Prince down to the line of scrimmage sometimes. Sometimes they play him as a linebacker, and he's listed as a strong safety.
Talmadge actually made the catch for a gain of 6. Here is The tailback running for some yardage. Waller scoots his way to about the 40, and that's going to be very close to a first down. It appears he has it. That was a great grab by Talmadge on the previous play. I thought it was low off the turf, but he scooped it off his fingertips, as you see, scooped it with his fingertips off his shoe tops, as you see Waller negotiate for the first down.
Montana with only one first down in that first quarter, but they are moving the ball now.
From the McNeese 40, Edwards throwing to the outside. That ball was tipped, and it falls incomplete. I believe it was Gerald Zeno who tipped that out in the right flat.
Good pressure for the Cowboys to push that line of scrimmage back, and the Cowboys have some very tall defensive linemen. Not only are these guys big and wide, but they're also very tall.
Zeno at 6'4", I believe, was able to reroute that ball. Second down and 10 from the Cowboy 40-yard line. Montana leads 3-0 on a first quarter field goal by Snyder. High formation for the first time. Tailback running left. Waller getting a block, picking his way to the 35, to the 30, still on his feet, and he gets to the 27. Now, these guys don't have a lot of long runs, Marty. Waller's longest run of the year is 40 yards. Gober, who normally starts, his best of the season was 26 on the ground, but they do that very well. They find the holes, and they sort of run as an alternative to the passing game. Edwards would like to throw it, but every once in a while they will come at you on the ground, and they do it pretty well.
Waller doesn't remind you of a sprinter. He's short and he's stocky, so that doesn't surprise me that he would only have a long run of 40 yards.
Malloy, the tight end, is on the right side. Wide receivers left and right. The Cowboys hoping to get some pressure. Play action. Edwards throwing to the end zone. It is too long. Incomplete.
Looked like he was throwing well past the end zone as opposed to the end zone.
Rory Zickmund was the intended receiver. A 5'10", 192-pounder. And good coverage by the Cowboys in the secondary.
That's Chris White. Chris White was one of the more highly recruited athletes out of the Lake area. He was looking at many Division I schools, but decided to cast his lot with the Cowboys, coming out of LaGrange High School.
Second down and 10. Three receivers right, one left. Edwards, who is most comfortable in shotgun formation, runs the draw, looking to come outside. He's chased, and he's stripped off his feet near the 20-yard line, 3 or 4 yards short of a first down.
Gutsy move by Edwards, certainly not afraid to tuck it and run, and he looks pretty good running the football.
He doesn't run it much, although he has scored 8 touchdowns on the ground, but averaging less than a yard per try.
This man is a senior out of Billings, and he's been a part-time starter since his sophomore year. He became a full-time starter a year ago and led the Grizzlies to the national championship game. His record as a starter is phenomenal.
27-3. Third down. Cowboys coming from the corners, throw over the middle, caught inside the 15. That's enough for a first down. Well, Montana saw the blitz coming, got rid of it quickly, and it appeared Tate Hancock made the catch.
A quick strike here by Montana. Edwards doesn't waste much time. It's a quick 3-step drop. He throws it right over the line of scrimmage to the slanting receiver, and a nice gain and a good play for Montana.
That's Hancock's 36th catch of the year. Montana keeps the drive alive inside the red zone now. At the 14, first and 10. Edwards, 3-step drop, looking, throwing over the middle, incomplete, and a flag. Oh! They're going to get Chris White, I believe, on interference.
I'll tell you what, I looked at that play from the get-go, and I can't believe that he called interference on that. It looked like a very good, clean defensive play. We can't really tell from that replay, but that flag was flying in there almost immediately.
Nathan Adkins was the intended receiver. White apparently bumped him a little bit early.
It's on the defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
So it's a first down at the 9-yard line.
So once again, the Cowboys are almost beating themselves. It's not the fact that the Grizzlies are moving the ball themselves necessarily, but the Cowboys are getting some costly penalties and putting Montana into some great field position.
From the 9, short drop, fade pass to the outside. It is incomplete. on the far sideline, 3/4 of the way into the end zone. Intended for John Talmadge, who was trying to use his 6'4" frame to take it away from Chris White.
And I think I'm detecting a trend here, Lynn, and that is that they're going toward Chris White an awful lot this evening. I don't blame them for not trying to throw in the direction of Rod Gully, who has 9 interceptions this year for the Cowboys. We haven't called his name yet tonight, but Chris White, we've seen him in many a place, so maybe the coaches from Montana have picked up on something.
White is giving away 6 inches in that matchup. The Grizzlies go to the ground. Waller turns the corner at the 5, dives ahead to the 3, 3rd and goal from there. There's that little change of pace when the Cowboys obviously were expecting a throw.
And Waller, being just the short, stocky back that he is, nothing fancy about it. He tries to streak to the outside, and you notice he doesn't really even have the speed to get to the corner. So he's got to cut it back, and he just meets the defenders and settles for a good 3, 4, 5-yard gain.
Fairchild made the tackle. Garrison, the middle linebacker, nearly had him in the backfield. 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. Edwards appears to want to throw to it. He's running, firing, caught for a touchdown.
Kyle Ritchie? No, I'm sorry, that's Archie.
Hancock.
Tate Hancock.
That's his 6th reception of the year, and they just flooded the right side offensively.
They certainly did. Edwards rolls out to his right, and there he finds his receiver, and he beats Fairchild. Good route running there by Hancock.
There were 3, maybe 4 receivers, all dragging and cutting back and forth in various directions. Very difficult to stay in long coverage in that situation.
You don't want to be the voice of doom and gloom, but the Cowboys can't allow Montana to run and hide with this thing. They're going to have to come back strong in their next offensive series.
Schneider has not missed an extra point, and he is good on this one. 49 straight for Schneider. 10-0 Montana leads with 11 minutes remaining in the 2nd quarter. We'll be right back on KPLC.
Where should you go for professional legal help? Here's some advice. Don't judge an attorney or a law firm by the size of their telephone book ad or the looks of their office. Make your decision based on the experience of the attorney as well as their firm's track record and reputation for handling cases similar to yours. With so much at stake, it'll be worth your time. Remember, choose your lawyer carefully.
After Dad's heart attack, we wondered if he could handle things alone. We thought a nursing home was necessary, but he didn't want to give up his independence. Now the small pendant he wears around his neck calls Acadian Ambulance at the touch of a button. Acadian On Call was a gift of security and independence for him and peace of mind for us. Independence is important to my dad, and my dad is important to us.
Acadian On Call, preserving independence, enhancing quality of life.
I swim the 200. I study sociology. I grind out laps. I cram for tests. I race nationals. I take finals. And when I finish, I'll be ready to start. There are 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and we're all training to perform in whatever we go on to do.
Well, this big crowd on a blustery Saturday evening has had little to get excited about. You know the Cowboys want to get this crowd energized, and trailing 10-0, the Cowboys get the ball. The kick is flat, bouncing around, picked up at the 20 by one of the blocking backs, and he stumbles his way up to the 31 or 32-yard line. So good opening position here for this possession for the Cowboys.
Jacob Prim was the man who picked that football up. Of course, he's very familiar with running it, as he is one of the running backs. And he got it up to the 31-yard line. Now it's very important for the Cowboys to try and do something with the football. Scott Pendarvis back in the game for Ryan Corcoran. And now, who knows? I think I might try my attempts at the air again with Marcus Trahan in the backfield for Pendarvis.
Broadhead in motion, sets up in a slot on the right side. Pendarvis wants to send him back from whence he came. Pendarvis will throw, cranks it to the outside, and well out of the reach of Jermaine Martin. Again, that was not close, and Pendarvis has had a case of the yips in the first half.
He certainly has, and again, I don't know what the reason is for that. He had it last week against Montana State. He had it again here. If you notice, Jermaine Martin was wide open. All he needed was a good pass to get to him, and the little man could have made something happen.
Scott has been very good, very steady throughout this season, but he needs to settle in here on 2nd and 10. Lawton running hard, tripped up. Just as it appeared he would be rumbling into the secondary.
For a big man, he runs extremely well, almost like a tailback, certainly not with tailback speed, but very coordinated, and he can do it all. He can block, he can run. Very talented guy to have in the McNeese backfield, and he can catch passes out of the backfield as well.
Yes, he can. In fact, he has grabbed 20 this year. He's been a weapon. 3rd and a long 4. Pitch back, Trahan running left, turns the wing, first down, Cowboys out at the 45-yard line.
Huge first down. And
Indeed.
Marcus Trahan certainly is a nice, gritty little runner, a walk-on out of Sulphur High School, been a valuable member of this team for the last 4 years, and he's no stranger to the end zone.
He's averaging 5.3 per carry. That's best among the trio of tailbacks, and he picked up better than that time. First down, Cowboys at the 45. This crowd is just waiting to have something to erupt about.
Exactly. The band's starting to break out in song. It feels like things are starting to pick up a little bit.
Broadhead in motion. Trahan trying to probe the right side. Nothing doing there. It will be 2nd and 10 as the Grizzlies put a lot of Bears in front of Trahan.
Nothing doing on that play for the Cowboys. They only picked up a couple. They've tried to run it up the middle many times before this evening, and they haven't been too successful with it. I think maybe they're trying to catch a break or make a hole in that offense or the defensive line for Montana and maybe pop one for a long game.
9.5 minutes remain in the first half. The Cowboys trail by 10. Luke Lawton running hard, running out to midfield. He'll be about 5 yards short of the first down. He took on Chris Orwig and just drove him backward. Orwig, a 6'5", 260-pound freshman backup nose tackle. And already, like the Cowboys, Montana is rotating people in and out quite frequently.
Yeah, they certainly are. Montana and the McNeese Cowboys are known for playing a lot of people. They build a lot of depth throughout the year, and you never really know who's in the ball game because they just interchange them so often.
3rd and 5, Pendarvis guns it over the middle, incomplete. Martin was stretching for it, had it on his fingertips, but it was just a little bit wide, and he would have had room to run, and now Martin is shaken up.
Well, I'll tell you what, he had to stretch out for that play, and he had a Montana Grizzly right on his back. But if he had come down with that catch, it would have been huge for the Cowboys.
That was Vernon Smith in coverage, and Jermaine Martin is hurt.
Now, we've talked about Pendarvis perhaps being just a little too excited tonight. 0 for 6 in the first half, or in the first quarter, rather, did not complete a single pass. That's got to change if the Cowboys want to move the football tonight.
It looks like, and this is just a guess, it appears they are working on Jermaine's,
Wow, $48,000. That's how much you could save by refinancing right now, depending on what your rate is currently. Call us at AFI Mortgage for a free consultation. We'll visit with you for a few minutes, and we'll let you know if refinancing is an option for you. Hey, it's easy to do. We need 3 pieces of paper, and we can get this done for you in a matter of 15 to 16 working days. $300 million in home loans. That's how many we've done. Please call us 494-5626 or www.absolutelowеstrate.com.
Billy Navarre's last month's truck sale with 0% financing was too successful. We traded for nearly 400 used cars and trucks, and we must reduce our inventory. So we're having a used car price war inventory reduction sale with prices to the public below NADA retail book value. Repeat, below book value. Choose from Suburbans, Trailblazers, Tahoes, Odyssey vans, Toyotas, Hondas, S10 trucks, or full-size extended cabs with prices to the public below NADA retail book value. Until November 18th at Billy Navarre Chevrolet in Lake Charles and Sulphur.
If you've been on a collision course, go to the source for collision repair, Lloyd Lau Collision Repair Center. As an ICAR certified collision repair center with ASC certified technicians, Lloyd Lau puts 28 years experience into the repair of all automotive makes and models, including motorhomes and diesel rigs. All paint and body work is a lifetime guarantee, and you can take advantage of fleet contracts and discounts. And they even have experienced insurance claim handlers to help ease all your worries. Lloyd Lau Collision Repair Center, 2906 Napoleon Street, Sulphur.
We're back to play. Montana with the ball after a 31-yard punt. Edwards will throw on first down. Heaves it deep. It is just out of the reach of the receiver at the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Tyler Peterson was the young man, a sophomore out of Helena, Montana. Edwards trying to go for broke right here, and he had his young man all the way. He just overthrew. Now, we want to make note that tonight, of course, a very big election, the U.S. Senate race, and look at that in terms of very early results. Suzanne Terrell with 71% of the vote. We will not cut in tonight until nightcast at the conclusion of the ball game, but we do want to let you know we will be giving you election results throughout the broadcast.
Edwards turns, hands it to Waller, running left, looking for yardage, sticks his head up into the pile and gets to the 24. 8 minutes and 20 seconds remain in the first half, and Montana has had the better of it, leading 10-0.
They certainly have had the better of it, but at least now in a third down situation like this, you know that Montana is going to attempt to throw the football. Cowboy players are standing up and exhorting the crowd to make some noise. The crowd has been rather quiet tonight.
Edwards surveys the defense. Looking, running, throwing, incomplete. Excellent coverage by the Cowboys and good play along the line of scrimmage to prevent Edwards from finding a running lane.
Exactly, but he almost looked like Scott Pendarvis there, having to be flushed out of the pocket, running over to his right, and then finding nobody to throw to. So wisely, he just dumped it off. Now that means Montana's going to have to punt, and the Cowboys should have excellent field position no matter where this punt lands.
Let's see if Sams can break one here. He is standing near midfield. Spencer sends an end-over-end kick. Sams retreats, has it at the 42. Looking for blocking. Snakes his way to the 45, comes to the near side, puts his hand down, stumbles, regains his footing, and goes all the way out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Well, that is B.J. Sams, like a roach on a soft field, and he had people lunging and missing.
Nothing he does surprises me anymore. We've seen big plays from this gentleman all year long. In the Western Kentucky game earlier in the year, he was like a one-man highlight show. Plays exactly like this, breaking out of tackles, returning the football for touchdowns. He's a playmaker, and anytime the ball is in his hands, anything can and will happen.
So McNeese opens this drive with its best position at the 42.5-yard line. Lawton and King are in the backfield. King loses his footing as he tried to move to the left side.
There we were talking about all the rain earlier in the week, and there you saw a good indication of the slick surface. The field is a little soft. It is a little springy, if you will, because of all the rain, and it is getting chewed up a little bit right there in the center of the field.
7 minutes and 4 seconds are left in the second quarter. Montana got a first quarter field goal and a second quarter touchdown. Play action. Pendarvis looking. Fires one high, incomplete. He has been very high on just about everything. And that was Jermaine Martin, the intended receiver, so it's great to see him back in the game.
So obviously not hurt too bad. And, you know, if you look at the motion from Pendarvis right there, it almost looks like he's trying to throw the ball about 70 yards downfield. He's really putting a lot of oomph into the ball on his release, and it is. It's just sailing on him, and he's not been able to find his receivers.
6:48 remains in the first half. 10-0 Montana. Third down and 12 to go from the 45. Pendarvis has time, whips it over the middle. It is incomplete.
That was Jeff Hamilton, his tight end. I wondered when we might see him get in action.
As it turned out, that would not have been deep enough for a first down on the crossing pattern.
And again, look at how he's just rifling the football, and even then it's a bad decision because he's rifling it into traffic.
Into double coverage. A cornerback and a linebacker were guarding Jeff Hamilton. So the Cowboys could do nothing with the football after receiving it on the Montana side of midfield. And Heidelberger, the dangerous punt returner, is waiting for the kick from the 15-yard line.
Cook's got to have a good punt, and it looks like the wind is really helping him there.
It is killed by the Cowboys at the 1. What a kick. Montana will be way back in its own territory, but leads 10-0. We'll be right back on KPLC.
So, you gave the old bride away today, huh?
I gave the bride away. I gave 100 pounds of roast beef away.
It's good, too.
2,000 canapes, a 6-tiered carrot cake, 2 passion fruit punch fountains.
The best things in life aren't always free. To make the most of what you earn and the best of what you borrow, talk to your personal banker at Cameron State Bank.
Dad, look! I caught the bouquet!
Every city has a story to tell, with plenty of news to go with it. Today more than ever, it's important to stay current and informed with the latest news and information. There are many sources available, but few deliver. Get the whole story for so little, a seemingly timeless source that you've depended on for years. The American press is still the best source for the most in-depth news coverage that matters most to you. It just makes sense to subscribe today.
Hey, I'm talking to you. Look at what Fox has. 2 boxes starting at $179.99 and the biggest selection and best prices you find anywhere. Something for the kids, go-karts, fifth wheels and goosenecks at the right price. Check out all the Nerf balls, chrome, polished black, stainless, textured black, the all-new 4-inch stainless, Challenger stainless, OE blackboards, and full-length and stainless and black at lower prices.
Thanks for shopping at Fox.
Go to Fox, go to Fox, go to.
The Grizzlies lead 10-0, but they are back at their own 2-yard line after the beautiful kick by Jason Cook. And the Grizzlies just try to wedge out some yardage, bring it up the middle, out to about the 5. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Well, Marty, it's not getting any warmer. I'm so cold tonight. I saw a chicken with a cape on earlier today.
I'll tell you what, it is cool as we look at election results very early. 6 out of 3,912 precincts reporting, so we've got a long way to go. But right now, Suzanne Terrell with 62% of the vote, Mary Landrieu with 38%.
You're just trying to give the Republicans something early to toast.
Exactly.
2nd down. Waller hit and does not get back to the line of scrimmage. What great defense by the Cowboys.
Well, I'll tell you,
Montana's got a hold. Was it not? Jobon Burns made the tackle.
Exactly. Montana's got a lot of the field to work with, but unfortunately, they're not going to, for them, they're not going to go back and air it out and take the risk of a sack or a fumble back in the end zone. So all they're going to try and do is just get a little breathing room for their punter right now, it looks like.
They're at the 3, 3rd down and 9. Edwards will throw. Looks, fires, incomplete. Intended for Talmadge. Not thrown well, and it was nearly picked off as it whistled by Talmadge.
Rod Goley, the man who has 9 interceptions for the Cowboys last year, he was near the football. And let's look at the race for U.S. Representative. Lee Fletcher with 60% of the vote, as 2 precincts are reporting 2 out of 746. Rodney Alexander with 40% of the vote. So here comes Spencer in the punt for the Grizzlies. He's going to have a short field to work with, only about 10 yards or so to get this punt off.
End over end kick. Sams takes it on the run at the 39, 35, 30 to the 26-yard line. And now the Cowboys are nearly in the red zone to get this drive started.
I'll tell you, I would think the Cowboys could at least get a field goal out of where they are right now. But they've got to take care of the football. Pendarvis has got to do a little bit better job of finding his receivers. And maybe just to get him into rhythm, they might think about some passes out of the backfield. But we won't have to worry about that because trotting onto the field is Ryan Corcoran, and it looks like the Cowboys might stick with him for an extended period of time.
So McNeese trying to get some stability at quarterback. Corcoran in his 2nd series. Hands to Luke Lawton. That's always a good bet. He barrels ahead for 2 or 3 yards.
Exactly. You know when you hand the ball off to Luke Lawton, you will get about 2 or 3. It's guaranteed.
And he rarely fumbles. These teams have not been marked by turnovers this year. The Cowboys have given it up only 20 times. And Montana has taken very good care of the football. Only 15 turnovers the entire year, only 5 fumbles that Montana has lost.
Which is really remarkable for a team that likes to throw the football as often as they do.
And plays in bad conditions. Play action. Corcoran looking, gunning. It is incomplete, thrown a little low, and it just dropped at about the 11. Martin tried to scoop it up, coming back to the line of scrimmage, and just couldn't dig it out.
And bounced right off his shoulder pads. Well, it was there. Corcoran found him. He just couldn't make the catch. And it looks like Vic King is leaving the field now. And as he has his arm kind of cocked up a little bit, it looks like he might be bothered by that shoulder, that left shoulder that he injured a week ago. Initially thought to be a separated shoulder. They said it was nothing more than a deep bruise.
Dan Boubigny will be providing halftime coverage, election results, and we'll get an update on Vic King.
That's right, and he'll have highlights from the Villanova game, the next opponent for tonight's winner.
3rd down. Lawton has it in the flat. Can't shake a linebacker, and he's knocked down at the 25-yard line. Play nose tackle out to make the play in the flat against the fullback, Luke Lawton. You don't see many nose tackles get out there that quickly and stay with a hard-charging fullback.
And look at him. He was moving his feet very well, and Lawton had nowhere to go. So that brings out John Marino to attempt the field goal. This will be an attempt.
He's a left foot. He has made Lencher. The kick is away. It is off to the right side. Marino hooked it just a little bit. It was long enough and then started fading or hooking to the right.
I'll tell you what, the Cowboys, that was some excellent field position. They got the football in Montana territory. They weren't able to do anything with it, and they've got to start capitalizing on those possessions if they want to be able to stay in this ball game.
Well, that's twice now that the Cowboys have had the last 2 drives start on the Montana side of midfield, one at about the 45 and that one near the 25. So the Cowboys have squandered field position the last 2 drives, as you see an update on the U.S. Senate race.
That's right. While they tend to the injured player, we'll tell you that Suzanne Terrell with 80 precincts reporting has 59% of the vote. Mary Landry, the incumbent, with 41%. Of course, a very important U.S. Senate race. We'll continue to check the election returns throughout the evening. And as you can see, it is still very early. 3,912 precincts are going to be reporting their results tonight so far. We've seen only 80, but Suzanne Terrell with that early advantage.
There is an injured Grizzly on the field, and this is a member of the secondary.
Vernon Smith.
He's been the best interceptor for Montana this year with 6 and 1 fumble recovery. 10-0. Montana leads McNeese. 3 minutes and 35 seconds are left in the first half.
Montana boys feel like they're in Hawaii, don't they?
Which played in a blizzard 2 weeks ago. 1st and 10, a flag drops, and the Grizzlies may have been a little itchy at the line of scrimmage.
Cowboys pointing to Montana. They obviously all is going to be. Montana's already walking off.
Somebody straightened up to scratch there at the line of scrimmage.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's a pretty good indicator when the team starts moving back before the referee even makes his call.
This Montana team, not known as nationally as is McNeese for defense, has really played well on the defensive side of the ball in the first half.
Defense a week ago. They were matching the Cowboys' defensive effort just the whole night. Very impressive throw.
Whips it to the outside, and it's out of the reach. And behind him. One thing about Edwards and this offensive philosophy, they will throw from anywhere on the field.
Well, and it's a good philosophy to have. You know, they had that reputation under Don Reed, who was their head coach for many years, followed by Mick Dennehy. So I wonder when Joe Glenn came in if the philosophy was going to think they're a little more balanced right now.
Edwards runs the draw, looks to find some yardage, takes on Fairchild and drags him forward a little bit out to the 28-yard line. Well, let me throw a rumor or two at you, Marty. They say that Joe Glenn may be a candidate for open jobs at Baylor or Wyoming.
Well, the Baylor job, he has been kind of rumored as a mystery candidate, although nobody can really confirm that. The Wyoming job would seem to make sense. He spent the vast majority of his life in the upper Northwest, he might be one of those guys who could go into Wyoming and actually turn that program around and do something with it. If you can win at the Division II level and at the 1AA level consistently, you got to think you can win at the Division I level as well.
3rd and 7, Edwards rolling right, pressured, and just flipped underhanded, and is smeared as it goes out of bounds, and they say that is a legal pass.
Exactly. The crowd wants to get some type of illegal grounding, but that doesn't apply. As long as you're out of line of scrimmage and throwing the football 5 yards downfield, that doesn't apply. Is that correct?
Yep, and Zeno, you see Zeno, number 94, wrap up Edwards, and Edwards was able to just sling it out of bounds in time to prevent the sack.
I'll tell you what, though, we might have had
now there is a flag thrown, and they're going to say, well, we'll let the officials outline it, but it could have been a little bit of a late hit on Zeno.
Exactly.
No, it's an illegal shift against Montana and a grounding. They do rule grounding. The throw itself, the underhanded throw, is okay. I don't think he got it back to the line of scrimmage, though, and if you don't get it back to the line of scrimmage, then that's a problem.
Okay. Well, there's the ruling right there.
Yeah, it has to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he was so far to the sideline that, he didn't really have an opportunity to throw it downfield. He just kind of threw it.
That was one of those, please don't hit me, Mr. Zeno.
Illegal motion on the offense. That penalty's declined. Intentional grounding on the offense. That's a loss of down. We're now at the spot of the foul. We're now playing 4th down.
So Montana will put its punting unit on the field, and again, the Cowboys should have an opportunity to take advantage of good starting position. Sams hopes he'll get some running room. The last 2 drives have started in Montana territory, but the Cowboys have nothing to show for them.
The Cowboys really need to try and get something done right here. Scoreboard, especially since they're going to get this ball in Montana territory, it looks like.
Spencer hits the left-footed kick high in the air. Sam's waiting for it. Takes it at the 49. He's hit immediately right at midfield. Excellent coverage on a kick which was hanging in this cold December sky like a box kite.
It held up there a long time, and I'll tell you what, that allowed the Grizzlies to get downfield and cover it. I was almost wondering if Sams was going to get the 2-yard halo that he's required by rule, and he was able to make the play and at least retain possession for the Cowboys as Corcoran remains in at quarterback. So it looks like they're going to be committed to this young man at least for the end of the first half.
Corcoran drops, throws it out into the flat. Sams has it behind the line of scrimmage. Flag goes down, and Sams moves up to the 45. He'll be close to a first down if the play stands, but I don't think it will. I think they're going to get Broadhead for an illegal block. Yep, right there. There's the clip.
Brett Broadhead with the block in the back. That was Kevin Edwards trying to defend that play, and that's one of those plays where the Cowboys are hurting themselves. I like the call. They get the ball in the hands of B.J. Sams, and they say, look, young man, you're the playmaker. You take over and see if you can make something happen. And he would have if not for the penalty.
2 minutes and 24 seconds are left in the first half. The Cowboys have 2 timeouts with which to work, but trail 10-0. And this capacity crowd has been muted so far. Just not much to get excited about.
10-yard penalty.
There you see updated election returns. Terrell and Landrew, 54 to 46%, with just a fraction of the precincts reporting.
That's right. We've got a long way to go in terms of this election. Just 222 of the precincts. But we will continue to cut in, or at least squeeze back, rather, with the results all night long until the conclusion of this football game.
I hope Dan Boubany has been able to find a warm spot on that sideline.
Well, I'll tell you, I saw him earlier, and I think he disappeared. He probably went inside to warm up.
1st and 10. Corcoran slips it off, and no running room, and now a flag goes down.
Now, that was a very late flag, I thought.
Big King had nowhere to go. And some of the Montana players appear to be chagrined about the potential call. We'll see what happens.
I'm trying to think what that might be. Because
maybe a face mask. That's about the only thing
I
could think.
Be.
Or an illegal block. Usually when the referee throws it, it's an illegal block of some sort. If it's against the defensive team, probably an illegal tackle of some sort.
Well, this is one of those situations where it looks like the teams don't even know what the call is going to be because neither one of them are moving in any direction. But it looks like we're going to...
Looks like it's going to favor McNeese, doesn't
it? Exactly. Oh, and it's a big one, too. Look at this, a 15-yard penalty.
It is the face mask. Now that helps. That helps a great deal for Cowboys.
Certainly does, an automatic first down. But again, with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, unless the Cowboys can capitalize, it will go for naught.
Montana was perfect until the final 2 weeks of the season. Corcoran will throw, has a pocket. Now it collapses, and down he goes. He's sacked for the first time. Montana has just recorded its 55th sack of the season.
And we've got some more laundry on the field. Another flag. Something tells me this one might go against the Cowboys, and it will. Holding call. So that'll push the Cowboys back 5 yards.
And a choice here for the Montana coaching staff. Do you want second and about 12 or first and 20 or so?
Cowboys have already marched themselves back, so it looks like they're already counting. Push back.
10-yard penalty. Still first down.
10 yards. So they got 15 from Montana. They gave 10 of it right back. And that's not going to help you win a championship. Well, we've got a minute, Lynn. Let's talk about basketball. LSU defeats the McNeese State men's team today by a final score of 93-72. The Cowboys now 3-2 on the year.
First and 20, Corcoran looks right, throws back left. He's got Martin and blockers. Midfield, 45, 40, cuts back, dives ahead. Down he goes at about the 37-yard line.
Just short of the first down marker, so the Cowboys pick up about 19 on that play. Jermaine Martin, I really like the call on the ball real well tonight. Let's just go ahead and get it into the hands of our playmakers and let these guys make something happen. Jermaine Martin always makes something happen, and if it looked almost as if he could have cut back to the left, he would have had some running room down the left sideline.
His feet came out from under him just as he tried to make that cut between the numeral and the hash mark. 10-0 Montana over McNeese. 3 seconds remain in the second quarter. Next week, the other team which really has come on since some mid-season problems.
Western Kentucky knocks off Western Illinois today and in these playoffs. But Western Kentucky wins it on the road by a final score of 31-28. It was Georgia and Villanova defeats Fordham by a final score of 24-10. So Villanova out of the Atlantic 10 Conference will be traveling next week to either Montana or McNeese State. But of course, we've got another.
The latter, the Cowboys will have to rally from a 10-point deficit to face Villanova next Saturday night.
The Cowboys haven't been in this situation much this year where they're in a deficit, but oh my goodness, we've got flags coming down already in the play started.
I'm not sure what that could be. The play clock still has 10 seconds on it.
I'm thinking maybe an illegal substitution of some kind, yes.
I think that's a pretty good guess.
Substitution violation.
It sure is.
Defense. 12th minute on the field.
You don't see defensive substitution violations very often, but the Grizzlies got caught with too many people and then came off late.
I'll tell you what, I don't really know much about the game of football, Lynn, so I must be on fire tonight. I'm just picking them up right as I see them.
I want some lottery numbers for you before we leave.
Exactly. So, you know, something like that, that's about the only thing it really could be.
First and 10, Corcoran looking, throwing under pressure. Martin makes a catch, first down inside the 20.
Well, it's sound because Pendarvis wasn't getting the job done. He's been your leader all year, but tonight he just doesn't have it. Ryan Corcoran can throw the football just about as well, if not better, than anyone on this football team. And now it seems to be, okay, let's just go to our bread and butter and find the guys that we know can make plays.
So the flea, Jermaine Martin, makes the catch. Cowboys inside the red zone, misdirection to Lawton, and Luke hurdles ahead to about the 16, a pickup of maybe 3. That's a play which can be very effective, but the Grizzlies were on it.
Well, he's been able to break a couple of those this year. He'll take that football. You think he's going to get 2 or 3 yards, and the next thing you know, there's a hole there, and he's gone to the end zone.
Time becomes a factor, 66 seconds and counting. The Cowboys have 1 timeout with which to work. Corcoran stumbles, throws it out short, and never can get it under control. He misses B.J. Sams.
Well, Corcoran didn't have his feet from under him right there, and once again, I think the field is coming into play. Sams also fell down over there. This field obviously doesn't have the greatest footing.
The good news, it stops the clock with exactly 1 minute remaining in the second quarter, and the Cowboys need points out of this drive. They would love 7. They would take 3, though.
It's interesting to me that Montana seems to be doing all right with the footing on the field. They play on a synthetic turf up in Missoula.
Yep, it's the Astro Play surface like Northwestern has. Corcoran under pressure, wings it, caught by Broadhead at the 6. Down he goes. And that's enough for a first down.
Broadhead's got to be careful that he doesn't get a taunting penalty on this play. Look, after catching the football, he's going to get up and get in the face of the Montana defender. They can't afford that at this point.
They mark it at the 7. First down, McNeese, the deepest penetration of the night for the Cowboys. And now the capacity crowd is on its feet.
And now in a strange twist, the players are actually asking for some quiet.
Corcoran takes the snap. King dancing at the 5. The 4 maybe leans to the 3. And let's see when the Cowboys take their final timeout. They do it right here. 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. In the closing seconds of the second quarter, there are 34 seconds remaining.
Well, you know, the Cowboys lost about 22 seconds in between that completion and the running of that last play with Vic King. It was costly. I don't know if I would have let the clock run down quite that much. I probably would have taken the timeout just a play earlier. Time becomes valuable.
It does. Now the Cowboys probably will have to throw the ball on the remaining 3 tries. They'll do it from the 4-yard line, 2nd down and goal. They have no timeouts with which to work, so if you do run it, you've really got to jump up and spike it.
Yeah, you really do. And 4 yards can seem like an awful long way when you're facing a Montana defense that's actually played a very good ball game up to this point.
Over the years, Marty, and you've seen these Cowboys frequently, the tight ends have been huge on this part of the field.
Exactly, and Jeff Hamilton usually is one of those guys who gets the call down here, and he's been kind of quiet the last couple of weeks. We've only seen the ball thrown in his direction once tonight, and last week he was awful silent throughout the first 3 quarters.
Sam's to the right. Lawton sets up in a slot. So does King. Empty backfield. Sam's in motion. Play action to the tight end. Out of his reach. Hamilton was open at about the 1 or 2, but the ball was thrown to the outside and a little bit long, and he had to turn and stretch for it. Again, they tried to get it to Hamilton. It would have been his 2nd touchdown catch of the season. A good-looking play, but the execution went a little awry.
Well, it was a great-looking play because the direction was flowing over to the left, so that just left Corcoran and Hamilton all alone to the right. Hamilton was wide open.
And you saw in the replay, anything close to Hamilton would have been an easy touchdown.
Exactly. Exactly. And again, the Cowboys are just not capitalizing on the few opportunities that they've been presented tonight.
Corcoran with the throw to the end zone. It is broken up.
But we've got a flag. Looks like we're going to have pass interference.
Intended for Sams. The defender never turned around and apparently was making contact with Sams in the back part of the end zone.
Well, the defender has every right for the football, much like the receiver. However,
oh yeah,
no question about it. But the receiver never made a play on the football. All he did was try and block into Sams, preventing him from catching it.
That was Trey Young.
Pass interference.
Trey Young on the pass interference, the free safety.
Automatic first down.
Now, here's the nice thing. It's an automatic first down, half the distance to a goal. Half the distance isn't that much. It's just a couple of yards. But the big thing is now it's first down, so the Cowboys have 25 seconds and 4 downs to try and put the football into the end zone. I've got to think Luke Lawton up the middle, but he's not in the backfield. He's split over to the left.
I don't think there's enough time to run it. They do pitch it to King. He's dancing at the 3. He doesn't get very far, and the Cowboys will have to hurry. 17 seconds left. McNeese hustling up. Will spike it. 14 and counting. 12 and counting. 10, and the spike comes with 10 seconds remaining.
That last play almost looked like a busted play of some kind, Lynn. Everybody was blocking in that direction, but King kind of hesitated coming out of the backfield. He was almost doomed before he took off running. And the Cowboys actually lose some yardage, lose a yard.
From the 3-yard line, 3rd and goal with 10 seconds remaining. This will be a throw to the end zone. And then probably, if the Cowboys don't score, what will amount to an extra point field goal.
Exactly. Yeah, the Cowboys have got to go to the air here because at least then, if you don't complete it, the clock stops. There's no way they can run the ball here.
3 receivers right. High snap. Corcoran picks it up, and he's in trouble and can't get rid of it. He's sacked back at the 20, and the clock is running. 1 second, and that's it. Every Everything that could go wrong did go wrong for the Cowboys on that third down play. A high snap and then a sack, and McNeese not only does not get into the end zone, it does not get the opportunity for the field goal.
Well, I'll tell you, the Cowboys are going to have to come back in the second half, and they're going to have to play better football. They've certainly had some opportunities. You can't get a better opportunity than this, and the Cowboys weren't able to come away with anything.
Herb Fernandez gets credit for the sack. 10-0 Montana at the half. We'll be right back.
Time to bring your home decor into this decade? Looking to make this a Christmas to remember? Dreaming of a vacation, but your wallet is keeping you home? Planning a big purchase? Think First. We offer loans for all reasons. And for a limited time, no closing cost on consumer non-real estate loans. Think First. First Federal Bank of Louisiana, an equal housing lender.
This holiday season, Honda's got great deals on new sport and utility ATVs. Qualified buyers can get $29 payments for the first 6 months with a Honda card, or lock in our lowest rate of the year, a 4.9% fixed APR through Honda Financial Services. Plus, you can get up to $300 in bonus bucks when you purchase select models. But hurry, gifts that go are going fast.
Come in for the holidays and save at Honda of Lake Charles, 5607 Common Street, 477-4993.
At Jeff Davis Bank, we're always ready with a firm handshake and a friendly face. You can trust us with what you've built for your business or your family. When it comes to convenience, we know your time is valuable, so we're here to make your life easier with ATMs, online banking, and locations with drive-thrus and extended hours when you need to see us face-to-face. It's about convenience, personal service, and your success. It's about Jeff Davis Bank, where our prime interest is you.
At the Popeyes Chicken Festival, you won't find any deals on buckets of bland, boring chicken. Just Popeyes kicking New Orleans-style chicken. This chicken rocks! And right now, you can get special deals on Popeyes' unique flavor. Get 3 pieces and a biscuit for only $2.79. That's 3 pieces and a biscuit for only $2.79. Or get Popeyes Fryers dozen. Not 12, but 13 pieces of Popeyes chicken for only $10.99. That's 13 pieces for only $10.99.
Live from Cowboy Stadium, it's the KPLC 7 Sports Halftime Show with 7 Sports Director Dan Bubany.
I'm 7 Sports Director Dan Bubany, live in the north end zone at Cowboy Stadium, where the Cowboys trail the Montana Grizzlies 10-0. We'll show you how it happened coming up in the 7 Sports Halftime Show. But first, some complete election coverage from our newsroom. Stay with us. That's coming up after this break.
Here's a great stocking stuffer for the whole family. A new Sony Vega flat screen or big screen television from CNC Audio Video and Appliance. Incredible resolution for a perfect picture, and now available with memory stick playback for breathtaking slideshows. Starting at only $3.99, a Sony stocking stuffer will definitely make your holidays happy. So let Santa bring you a new Sony this year with a scouting trip to CNC Audio Video and Appliance, where we always appreciate your business. And good luck getting this big boy into your stocking.
You're wearing my hat.
Need to upgrade your existing PC, network your home or entire business? LB Computers can take care of all your computer needs, including repairs, installation of Cox cable internet, and locating those hard-to-find computer items. LB Computers has the fastest repair turnaround in the Lake area. Don't let those computer problems drag you down this season. Come see LB Computers, where all inventory prices has been slashed just in time for Christmas. LB Computers at 3823 Ryan Street, 2 doors down from Blockbuster Video, or call 474-9744.
If you're injured in an accident, never sign anything until you understand your legal rights. Too many times, people take what they think is a good offer. All too often, they sign away any hope of being fairly compensated for the past, present, and future damages. Don't be pushed into an early settlement. Don't gamble with your future. Talk to an attorney first, and always choose your attorney carefully.
Hi, everyone. I'm Janelle McDonald. We'll get you back out to Dan's halftime show in just a moment, but first we want to get you an election update. It's still early yet, but here's a look at the results we have so far. Now, starting with Louisiana's race for Louisiana's junior Senate seat, it is still early with about 617 of the more than 3,000 precincts reporting. Suzanne Terrell is leading incumbent Mary Landrieu. Suzanne Terrell has 52% of the vote, while Mary Landrieu has 48% of the vote. Of course, it is still early, and we will continue to update those results throughout the night. Now, if Landrieu wins, it will be her second term as Louisiana's junior senator, making her already lengthy political career even longer. Landrieu grew up in New Orleans, where her father, Moon Landrieu, was once mayor. She won her first election at age 23 and served 2 terms in the Louisiana House of Representatives and then 8 years as state treasurer. In 1997, Landrieu became the first woman elected to represent Louisiana in the United States Senate. Landrieu's opponent, Suzanne Terrell, entered the political arena in 1994 at the age of 40 when she was elected to the New Orleans City Council. In 1999, Louisiana voters chose her to serve as elections commissioner. During her term in that post, she has eliminated the need for an elections commissioner in Louisiana. When Terrell's term ends, the duties of that office will be turned over to the Secretary of State. Now, neither candidate let up on campaigning this week. Yesterday alone, each one made stops in at least 6 Louisiana cities to garner support from voters. Landrieu and Terrell were out early today in an effort to help their cause. Both candidates are both from Orleans Parish, so they both cast their votes in New Orleans this morning before going out to do some last-minute campaigning. One of the voters who turned out today was a 92-year-old woman from Lake Charles. She's been voting for more than 70 years, and Mary Morris has voted in some very big elections over the years. Today, she cast her ballot for that U.S. Senate seat. Mary believes everyone should vote, and she says the only time she doesn't come out to the polls on Election Day is if she's just too sick to make it.
Well, you feel as if you're not really a part of this country or part of this political situation, whatever it may be. You haven't done your part.
Mary did her part today, and she says she'll do the exact same thing in the next election. Well, the game and the election were just a few of the things going on today. Many residents also took time to line the streets of downtown Lake Charles. And for good reason. The city's Christmas parade rolled through the streets this afternoon. This year's theme, the Cajun Night Before Christmas. As you can see, there was a big turnout for the annual event, and the joy of Christmas was apparent in both the young and the young at heart. And if the parade didn't get folks in the Christmas spirit, this sure did. Lake Charles Community Band this afternoon performed some Christmas favorites for a nice-sized crowd out at the Civic Center. Well, make sure you join us for Nightcast. We'll have highlights from the holiday events in Sulphur and Jennings, plus a look at tonight's Christmas Lighting Festival at the Lake Charles Civic Center. That's going to do it for this news update. Remember to join us back here for Nightcast for complete election results, and watch for election updates at the bottom of your screen during the last half of the McNeese game. We'll send you back out to Dan at Cowboy Stadium after this break.
After Dad's heart attack, we wondered if he could handle things alone. We thought a nursing home was necessary, but he didn't want to give up his independence. Now the small pendant he wears around his neck calls Acadian Ambulance at the touch of a button. Acadian On Call is a gift of security and independence for him and peace of mind for us. Independence is important to my dad, and my dad is important to us.
Acadian On Call, preserving independence, enhancing quality of life.
Wow, $48,000. That's how much you could save by refinancing right now, depending on what your rate is currently. Call us at AFI Mortgage for a free consultation. We'll visit with you for a few minutes, and we'll let you know if refinancing is an option for you. Hey, it's easy to do. We need 3 pieces of paper, and we can get this done for you in a matter of 15 to 16 working days. $300 million in home loans. That's how many we've done. Please call us, 494-5626, or www.absolutelowеstrate.com.
The #1 selling car line in Southwest Louisiana just got better, and Billy Navarre Honda is proud to introduce the most exciting new Accord ever. The all-new Accord has been totally redesigned. It's bigger, has more horsepower, and is the most luxurious Accord ever. Plus, the all-new Accord has been built for a 5-star safety rating. So come check out the all-new 2003 Honda Accord and find out why it's the best-selling car in Lake Charles 6 years and running. At Billy Navar Honda I-210 in Lake Charles.
If you've been on a collision course, go to the source for collision repair, Lloyd Lau Collision Repair Center. As an I-CAR certified collision repair center with ASC certified technicians, Lloyd Lau puts 28 years experience into the repair of all automotive makes and models, including motorhomes and diesel rigs. All paint and body work is a lifetime guarantee, and you can take advantage of fleet contracts and discounts. And they even have experienced insurance claim handlers to help ease all your worries. Lloyd Lau Collision Repair Center, 2906 Napoleon Street, Sulphur.
Live from Cowboys Stadium, it's the KPLC 7 Sports Halftime Show with 7 Sports Director Dan Bubany.
I'm 7 Sports Director Dan Bubany, live from the north end zone at Cowboys Stadium, where the Cowboys trail the Montana Grizzlies tonight by a score of 10-0 at the half. You're watching the 7 Sports Halftime Show, and coming up, we'll recap the first half, show you who the winner of this game will be playing next, and we'll even catch up with Athletic Directors Sonny Watkins of McNeese State and Wayne Hogan of the Montana Grizzlies. First, let's recap first half action. Show me the highlights. Check them out. Jason Cook punting, and the Cowboys punted a total of 6 times in the first half. This was their third, and it appears that Jefferson Heidelberger fumbles the football right there, but they called him down. Take another look at the replay. He looks like he's standing up when he loses the football. McNeese recovered, but they called him down. So what do you know? The Grizzlies get the ball back, and they go to work. Here we go. John Edwards finds Jonathan Talmadge with a catch right there, and he's still on his feet before any Cowboys can bring him down. Finally, Hadley Prince brings him down to the 22, and they get a 42-yard field goal from Chris Snyder. That makes it 3-0 Montana. Then, here we go, more Grizzlies. This time it's J.R. Waller, not David Gober. Remember, he didn't make the trip. This is Waller with a 12-yard run right around the McNeese 27-yard line, and that sets up another Waller run who just keeps pounding it down closer and closer. He's down at the 2, and that sets up this touchdown for Montana. They lead 3-0 already. This time it's John Edwards finding Tate Hancock, and that's a touchdown, folks. 10-0 is your score at that point, but McNeese actually started to get into it. Here we go. On the punt return, B.J. Sams deep in Montana territory. The first time they were in Montana territory all day to that point, and then John Marito had a chance, a field goal attempt from 42 yards out, missed it. Still no score for the Cowboys, 10-0. And then this is right before the half. Corcoran, a busted play. The Cowboys don't get a touchdown. They don't have any timeouts left, so they have to eat it. And so your halftime score is 10-0. Now the winner of tonight's game between Montana and McNeese State gets the winner of the Villanova-Fordham game. Here's Rowdy to support me. A game played earlier this afternoon was Villanova-Fordham. Let's take a look at those highlights. The cat is out of the bag, literally. Wildcats-Rams, and this is Villanova Martin Gibson on the reverse. This is kind of a nice little play. On the reverse, fools Fordham completely. That's a touchdown for Villanova. And then flash forward to the third quarter when everybody's done celebrating. It's 10-3 Wildcats when Terry Butler goes off. Butler, 4 yards for the score. Butler rushed for 81 yards and a touchdown, 17-3 Villanova. 17-10 Villanova now. More Nova coming at you. Brett Gordon to who else? Butler. Touchdown. Brett Gordon was 26 of 30 for 219 and 2 scores. This one put the game away. Villanova wins 24-10. Okay, so the winner of this game gets to play the Villanova Wildcats. The halftime score of this game, of course, is 10-0 in favor of Montana. You've seen the pictures from the first half. Well, here are the numbers. Take a look, folks. First downs, 6 for the Cowboys, 2 for the Grizzlies. And McNeese is actually winning the time of possession battle by almost 10 minutes, but the score is not reflective of that. 10-0 is your score. Take a look at some more stats. 26 rushing yards for the Grizzlies, 35 for McNeese. Passing yards, 33 for McNeese, 44 for Montana. I can tell you this, Scott Pendarvis is 0 for 10, and that won't help your cause. 0 for 10 is Scott Pendarvis. The score at the half is 10-0. So there it is by the numbers, folks. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be with athletic directors Sonny Watkins of McNeese State and from Montana, Wayne Hogan. Stay with us.
Today more than ever, it's important to stay current and informed with the latest news and information. There are many sources available, but few deliver. Get the whole story for so little. A seemingly timeless source that you've depended on for years. The American press is still the best source for the most in-depth news coverage that matters most to you. It just makes sense to subscribe today.
Fill with bulks. Check out the goodies. Custom fit truck seats, different styles and colors. Bulk shields and vent visors. Husky floor mats and liners. Bed covers, roll and lock, and the all-new track top at much lower prices. Hitches and accessories. Girl guards, V-gays, headache racks in stock and priced to move. Bed slides, bed extenders, spray-in bed liners, and truck racks. Plenty of wheels and tires, and lots of tool boxes. Thanks for shopping at Falks. Go to Falks, go to Falks, go to.
This holiday season, Honda's got great deals on new sport and utility ATVs. Qualified buyers can get $29 payments for the first 6 months with a Honda card, or lock in our lowest rate of the year, a 4.9% fixed APR through Honda Financial Services. Plus, you can get up to $300 in bonus bucks when you purchase select models. But hurry, gifts that go are going fast.
Come in for the holidays and save at Honda of Lake Charles, 5607 Common Street, 477-4993.
Welcome back to the 7 Sports Halftime Show. I'm 7 Sports Director Dan Bubany, live in the north end zone at Cowboy Stadium. Montana leads McNeese 10-0, but it's now my pleasure to be joined by two very important men. To my right, McNeese State Athletic Director Sonny Watkins from McNeese State, of course, and to my left, Wayne Hogan from Montana. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
Nice to be here.
All right, Sonny, let's start with you. As long as number one in the country, is this a game that you've been wanting to see?
Well, you know, we've played Montana in the past, and it's always been so competitive, and I think by now everyone knows that because it's been in the newspaper and on television what the scores were. But yes, you know, we love to play great competition just like Wayne and his people do, and it's always been such a big contest for both of us, and yeah, we've been looking forward to it.
All right, let's talk about it from your end of things. I mean, is this a game that you were excited to see?
This is great for 1AA football. We feel like we have a lot in common. McNeese, even though we're in a completely different section of the country. When we come down here, we feel the same kind of atmosphere that we have in our town. That 1AA football is important. People care. They're passionate. They love to come out and throw parties and make a whole night of it. And it feels much like our place. So this is really neat. It's great for 1AA.
What does the 1AA playoffs mean in terms of exposure for a school like Montana?
Well, it means a great deal to us. We're so isolated up in our part of the country. This is an opportunity for us to get out and be noticed in different sections of the country. Television, all kinds of those residuals that come along. And, of course, we've been fortunate enough to be able to play in a couple of national championship games. So all of that just means so much to a state like Montana, which has less than 1 million people in the entire state.
All right, I'm going to ask you the same, and this is an opportunity really for... We had ESPN News out here for the selection show, and now to get all this TV exposure and national exposure. What's that been like?
Well, it's been a little bit hectic, you know, when you're trying to get everything prepared and get everyone where they want to be located and whatnot. But it's a great time. It's a fun time, you know, because you know that something good is happening, and you know that it's going to be beneficial, you know, to this whole community, this university, and even the visiting team when they're getting their game televised back to, you know, where they're from in Montana. It's just been a great experience, and we always look forward to, you know, games like this.
McNeese has made the playoffs 9 of their last 11 years. Do you ever get spoiled just by being in the postseason all this time?
Well, I think you can get a little bit spoiled, but I don't think that, you know, as coaches, as players, and as athletic directors, you don't ever take anything for granted because anything can happen, and you know that, you know. So when you're talking about student athletes, you're talking about them playing, but you're also talking about taking care of the academics. So that's another issue involved in it, you know, in that puzzle.
All right, Wayne, what about you? I mean, this is a place that Montana is very used to being the postseason. Do you find yourself getting carried away in all of this?
Well, we just love it. You know, we kind of feel like we have a pre-conference season, and then we get into our conference, and then this is the third season, you know, and it kind of gives everybody a little breath of fresh air, and you get a little more spring up, and the games just mean so much more. And playoff football is something special, and you know that at any level. That's why I think this is the best system in the world. They can have the BCS and the bowls and all that to decide it on the field and be able to play every week to see who's the best team. Really is pretty special.
Now, before I let you go, you have a very special coach in Joe Glenn. The Montana, the Alabama job is open. Are there any rumors that maybe Joe could be taking that job?
Out there, and it keeps me awake at night. We don't want to lose Joe, of course, but Joe is red hot right now, frankly. He's won 39 games and lost 5. He's got national championships at the Division II level and at the 1AA level. Joe's going to go on to some greatness, and the question is, when will it be? And I hope it's not too soon.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Second half action is coming up next. Stay with us.
While progress should never come to a halt.
Welcome back. Here's the kickoff. Montana's Heidelberger knocked off his feet hard at the 33-yard line. Heidelberger brought a punt back and a kickoff back for a touchdown last week against Northwestern State. And the Grizzlies, who lead at 10-0, put their offense on the field for the first time in the second half at their own 33-yard line.
Bad first half for the Cowboys, and it's even compounded now because we give the ball to Montana to start the second half. Venturing through the crowd at halftime, I heard a lot of unhappy Cowboy fans, Lynn, and all of them said the same thing. We can't play this bad and hope to win.
John Edwards turns and hands to J.R. Waller. Waller is stopped at the line of scrimmage. He rushed for 26 yards on 7 carries in the first half, and for the first time this season, the Cowboys failed to get points in the first half.
Very unusual situation. A lot of fans haven't seen it, and I know the Cowboys haven't seen it. Here's a telling stat. Scott Pendarvis, 0 for 10 in passing attempts. Ryan Corcoran not a whole lot better, 4 of 9 for just 40 yards. The Cowboys have got to play better offensively.
Second down near the 35-yard line. Play action for Brandon Neal. Neal working to the right, avoids a tackler, looking and throwing upfield, intended for Talmadge, but it's out of his reach near the 45-yard line.
He was almost sacked for a loss by John Paul Jones, the defensive tackle who signed with LSU out of high school. He's a transfer over here. He's out of Karen Crow, one of the top recruits in the state coming out of high school a few years back. Updated U.S. Senate results now. The precincts are reporting in, and Suzanne Terrell holds on to a very slim 51 to 49 percentage point lead.
John Paul Jones making the all-conference first team in the Southland Conference as a first-year player. Very unusual. Third down. The Cowboys are itching to get the ball back early in the third quarter. Neal looking, has a pocket, fires deep to the far sideline, intended for Talmadge. He turns, and he nearly made the catch behind the secondary at the 31, but he couldn't latch onto it with Chris White in coverage.
And you see where they're going once again. It's no secret. Montana seems to have found something that's working for them, and that is to pick on Chris White. Now, I don't know what they saw on film that made them want to go in that direction, but that's where they've been going all night long, and sometimes they've been able to be successful.
This Cowboy defense has forced 4 consecutive punts now from Montana, so the defense has continued to shine. The offense needs to do something to help. Another very high kick. Sams has it at the 21, gives ground, gets a block, goes under a tackler. A flag is thrown, and Sams is finally knocked down at about the 24-yard line. A lot of running and a lot of action for a 2 or 3 yard return.
Now, I'm really curious what this penalty is going to be about. Certainly that can't be an illegal block of any kind. That was within
the first one was legal, but there may have been something after it. We'll see.
I'm kind of confused what this possibly could be, but it looks like it's going to go against McNeese.
Perhaps we can detect on the replay what exactly happened on the first block. Was certainly well within the rules, but I'm not sure if something didn't occur after that. 10-0 Montana, 13:44 to go, third quarter, and the Cowboys get the stop they needed.
Illegal block in the back
to get this third quarter started.
Half the distance to go. First and 10, McNeese.
Boy, I would like to see where that one came from.
Now that's the legal block right there. And then something evidently happened after the play away from the ball, or after that initial block. Here is Vic King running hard, but just no place to go. King didn't have much success in the first half. That's his 9th rush. He's got 25 yards now, averaging only about 2.8, and those are not like normal Vic King numbers.
Well, when you look at the stat sheet, you can see that it just screams of lack of production. The Cowboy offense really didn't do a whole lot in the first half, either passing or throwing the ball. Now, you can say that's one of two things. You can say that's great McNeese defense, or Montana defense, or just an inept McNeese offense.
And here is the second sack of the ball game as Pendarvis is knocked down inside his 5. The Grizzlies have been sack makers this year, as have the Cowboys. That's the 56th of the season for Montana, and Scott Pendarvis just was overwhelmed behind the line of scrimmage.
And we'll credit that one to some strong Montana defense. Not very often you're going to see the McNeese offensive line be pushed around like that, but they certainly were on that last play.
3rd and 16. King will run for it, darts into the secondary. He's dragged down at the 13-yard line. King had a little bit of a schism through which to run, but he was taken down well short of the line of scrimmage by defensive end Lance Spencer. And boy, they've got 2 good ones on the ends. Spencer and Bush, a freshman and a junior respectively, each have 10 sacks.
Well, that's some good production. Jason Cook really needs to also have some very good punting now, because
you bet
field position's so critical.
He needs to crack one here. Good snap, good kick.
And there we go.
Heidelberger backing up, has to let it bounce at the 38, and it rolls dead at about the 35.5-yard line. So that's exactly what the doctor ordered. That kick, 40, 50, right at 51 or 2 yards.
U.S. Senate race now. More precincts reporting. 2,274 of the 3,912 precincts. And Suzanne Terrell with 51% of the vote. We'll continue to squeeze back and give you the Senate race results throughout the evening and throughout this football game.
See, you're assuming that that football fans can't read. I mean, they can see that.
Well, they just told me I had to read that stuff, so I just want to make sure the folks at home know that we're on top of it. We know that it's happening.
Some folks head to the kitchen for a sandwich, and they want to keep up with the audio.
Exactly. Oh, I assume they can read, and I assume that they see it on the screen. So I'll just say, there's your Senate results from now on. Now I'm self-conscious, Lynn.
1st and 10 for Montana. Waller runs into a wall. He didn't have anywhere to go as Keith Smith took him down on the corner.
Keith Smith out of Leesville, Louisiana. Now the Cowboys really and truly have done a great job of recruiting the state of Louisiana. I remember a few years ago, Mike Santiago, who's now the head coach of Stephen F. Austin, said, we go into some of the smallest high schools in this state, and we take some of those kids, and we took them and put them into a big school in Houston. Everybody in the country would be recruiting them.
If I remember correctly, Keith Smith was an offensive player at Leesville, wasn't he?
He certainly was.
2nd down and long. Edwards guns it over the middle. He's got the big tight end, Connor Malloy, and he lumbers up to the 48. That's enough for a 1st down.
That's the first time we've called Malloy's name this evening.
Malloy, a 6'5", 250-pound sophomore. That's his 14th catch of the year. He averages 12.9. That's about what he got on that one.
He was wide open. It looks like the Cowboys were thinking about the wideouts a little too much, and he was able to sneak out there.
Last week, Montana threw it to wide open tight ends 4 times against Northwestern State and got good production each time. 1st and 10. Another pass, this one grabbed by Talmadge, and he is working for some yardage into Montana, or McNeese territory at the 40 all the way to the 38. A quick little flip with some blockers, and Talmadge, the great-looking freshman, knows what to do when he catches it.
That kid is very impressive as a young man. He, you don't see that kind of maturity in young players to be able to catch the ball and run through traffic like he just did.
1 senior, 4 juniors, 4 sophomores, and 2 freshmen in the starting lineup offensively for Montana. Edwards gives to Waller, dancing around, reverses, finds a hole, 30, 20, has a blocker downfield who takes care of business, and Waller is in the end zone. A cutback run, and Montana now makes it very difficult on the Cowboys.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looks like the Cowboys over-pursued on this. It looks like Waller's going to his left. So look at everybody. All the Cowboys, they're running to the left. And all of a sudden, when Waller cuts back, the only thing that's standing between him and the end zone is Hadley Prince. And Hadley gets a little faked out by the move Waller puts on him.
And Talmadge throws that downfield block and plants Chris White.
And I'll tell you what, 17 points might not look like that much for a normal situation, but this isn't a normal situation. It's a sloppy field. It's a cold night. Montana's the defending national champion. And unless you can get back in this football game in a hurry, this one could be very, very difficult for the Cowboys to climb out of.
Montana is playing like the defending national champion and takes a 17-0 lead on the extra point by Chris Snyder. So the Cowboys need to step on it offensively. We'll be right back.
Time to bring your home decor into this decade? Looking to make this a Christmas to remember? Dreaming of a vacation, but your wallet is keeping you home? Planning a big purchase? Think first. We offer loans for all reasons. And for a limited time, no closing costs on consumer non-real estate loans. Think first. First Federal Bank of Louisiana, an equal housing lender.
At the Popeyes Chicken Festival, you won't find any deals on buckets of bland, boring chicken. Just Popeyes kicking New Orleans-style chicken. This chicken rocks! And right now, you can get special deals on Popeye's unique flavor. Get 3 pieces and a biscuit for only $2.79. That's 3 pieces and a biscuit for only $2.79. Or get Popeye's Fryers dozen. Not 12, but 13 pieces of Popeye's chicken for only $10.99. That's 13 pieces for only $10.99.
Think. Read. React. Struggle.
Succeed. Grow.
Every time we step on the floor, class is in session.
There are 360,000 NCAA student athletes.
And each one of us is getting 2 educations.
17-0 Montana over McNeese early in the third quarter. Trahan and Martin are back to receive the kickoff. The Cowboys in blue and gold need to find a sense of urgency. Trahan at the goal line fumbles it into the end zone and will down it for the touchback. So a wise choice after the bobble, and the Cowboys put their offense on the field at the 20-yard line.
And I'll tell you what, this is a subdued crowd here tonight, Atlanta. We haven't seen this in Cowboy Stadium this year.
Up time for the U.S. Senate update.
We'll tell you what, since you made me feel bad the last time, we're just going to say, folks, there it is on your screen.
Still close.
And I'm going to assume that they all can read. So Suzanne Terrell still with that 51% to 49% advantage.
About a 14,000 vote advantage right now with 55 or 60% of the precincts reporting. The Cowboys on first down send the tailback up into the middle of the pile, and he gets maybe 3 to the 23. Vic King, who has been bottled up, as has the Cowboy running game, works for about 2.5. Second down, and let's call it a long 7 for the Cowboys.
9 minutes and 46 seconds left to go in this third quarter. So I don't know if it's too early to push the panic button or not. Maybe the Cowboys should come out throwing the ball and try and get something going.
Here's a sling out to Sams, turns the corner, first down. He's bumped out of bounds near the 35-yard line.
I should point out, though, Lynn, that the last 2 times these teams met, back in 1994 and then 1997, the game was decided in the last few seconds, within the last minute of the ball game. So if the Cowboys can put a few points on the board now, it wouldn't surprise me if something happened late in the contest.
These teams have played 4 times in their football histories. Each team has won twice, and all of the games have been close. First and 10. King on a reverse. It looked like he wanted to maybe throw it back to Broadhead, but King was indecisive and finally ate the football for a loss of about 5. Broadhead was coming behind the play as though he may be a pitch man on the reverse. King hesitated, and he who hesitates loses against the Montana defense.
Well, I think that play might have worked had it been successful, because, again, Montana was pursuing toward the football, and Broadhead probably would have had a wide open lane on the left-hand side.
Second down. Scott Pendarvis throws to the outside. Broadhead makes the catch, gets the lost yardage back and maybe a yard more. It will be 3rd and 9 for the Cowboys, who need some offense with 8:55 to go in the third quarter.
They certainly do. An obvious passing situation now.
McNeese has overwhelmed its opposition in the third quarter, 104-30. During the year, make it 104-37 now with the touchdown and the extra point by Montana. Conversely, Montana, before that touchdown, actually trailed by 2 points in its third quarter production. Pendarvis firing, and it is incomplete. Martin lost his footing at midfield and had no chance to get up and try to get the ball.
Pendarvis slipped and fell, couldn't obviously get enough on that throw, but even if... rather Martin fell down, but even if Martin were up, I don't know that he'd be able to catch that ball. Again, it looked like it was a little too high.
So the Pokes have to punt it. Jason Cook has been way too busy today for the Cowboys.
His 9th punt of the evening. 7 in the first half, his second here.
And this one is almost taken off his foot, but another fine kick. Heidelberger at the 18 is snatched immediately. Excellent coverage by the Cowboys.
Heidelberger's been able to catch the ball tonight and then been able to juke a McNeese defender and pick up a few more yards. We'll be right back to Cowboy Stadium after this timeout.
We start our banking with a relationship, and the key to that relationship is your success. Jeff Davis Bank is about local, dedicated professionals with the knowledge to guide you and the time to listen. We've been part of the community for over 55 years, and we care. If your goal is owning a home, boat, or car, starting a business, or planning your finances, we're there for you. Our commitment is to your success. We're Jeff Davis Bank, and our prime interest is you.
Here's another great stocking stuffer for the whole family. A new Hitachi big screen or plasma television. Simplify your life with Hitachi's new audio video net, which allows you to control all your components with one simple remote. With a low price guarantee, Hitachi stocking stuffers will definitely make your holidays happy. So let Santa bring you a new Hitachi big screen or plasma television from CNC Audio Video and Appliance, where we always appreciate your business. And good luck getting this big boy into your stocking.
I want my hat.
Need to upgrade your existing PC, network your home, or entire business? LB Computers can take care of all your computer needs, including repairs, installation of Cox cable internet, and locating those hard-to-find computer items. LB Computers has the fastest repair turnaround in the Lake area. Don't let those computer problems drag you down this season. Come see LB Computers, where all inventory prices have been slashed just in time for Christmas. LB Computers at 3823 Ryan Street, 2 doors down from Blockbuster Video, or call 474-9744.
Marty Briggs, I thought it was interesting at halftime when Dan Boubeny talked to the Montana athletic director, and he frankly admitted that Joe Glenn is a very hot property and didn't expect him to stay there too much longer.
Well, anybody who's had that kind of success has got to be considered for some of the top jobs. A winner is a winner, no matter where that winning takes place.
Here's a winner. Edwards rolling out right, will keep it, doesn't run much, but scrambles for good yardage, and is finally ushered out of bounds on the far sideline.
You know, this is a far different Montana team than I'm used to seeing, because it used to be every single time they touched the ball, it was going to be thrown downfield. They seem to control the football just a little bit better than they have in years past. As once again, we check out the U.S. Senate race, it is closing up rather quickly as far as all the precincts reporting. And look at this, right now a virtual dead heat, 50% of the vote going to both ladies.
I'll tell you, there were times during the campaign they didn't conduct themselves as ladies, did they?
Certainly not.
2nd and 1. Waller picking his way for first down yardage out to the 35, maybe the 36.
Waller carries across the 35, first down Montana.
Cowboys defense certainly has nothing to be ashamed of tonight. They had the one big play that they just let a touchdown score here in the third quarter. But they played well throughout the first half, I thought.
Well, there's just so much constant pressure because the offense has been a give-back machine, not on turnovers,
exactly.
but just no place to get anything going tonight against this Grizzlies defense. 1st and 10 for Montana. Now the McNeese defense must make a statement. Montana working from its own 36, and Edwards wants to throw again, dumps it out into the flat, almost picked off. It's incomplete, and that one was almost grabbed by Fairchild, and he would have had open sailing into the end zone.
I'll tell you what, I was just thinking that too, that the Cowboys really could use some kind of a turnover. The defense is playing so well that they probably are going to be the ones who have to force something, and that would have been a great momentum changer right there if Fairchild had been able to hold on to it.
He jumped in front of Hancock, but was just a little bit late arriving. 2nd and 10. Edwards looking, firing, high, incomplete, off of Talmadge. He tried to climb the ladder and make the catch, but that one was thrown too tall. Again, pretty good coverage, and it looked like Fairchild.
Edwards is doing a good job of at least being in the range of his receivers all night.
Excuse me, that was Chris White on the coverage.
Chris White again, and obviously they seem to feel like they can exploit the coverage of Chris White.
7 minutes and 50 seconds are left in the third quarter. Montana has scored 3 ways tonight. Field goal, pass into the end zone, run into the end zone. Edwards looking, has time, throws. It's dropped at the 45, incomplete.
And that's Smith. Keith Smith.
Rory Zickman dropped it.
And he had it.
He did. And so Montana is forced to punt. And the Cowboys, who had their last 3 possessions of the second quarter, move into Montana territory, one of them very deep, but a misfire at the goal line in the closing seconds of the first half prevented the Cowboys from getting on the scoreboard. Here comes the rush, and the kick is away.
Oh. Well,
Sams has it in traffic. It was one of his own men who nearly bumped it out of his hands. Sams is thrown down back near the 30. Let's take a timeout. The Cowboys trail by 17-0.
If you have a serious health problem, you'll want the advice of the best doctors in that medical field. Likewise, if you have a serious personal injury, you need the advice of an attorney who works in that legal field and is recognized as an expert in that area of law. Your future, your livelihood could depend on it. Remember, when you need legal advice, choose your attorney carefully.
For those who wear caps, for those who wear scarves.
For ice skaters, for tree trimmers.
For Mrs. Claus, for Mr. Claus.
For his little helpers.
For Donner, for Vixen.
For Rudolph. For those under the mistletoe.
For the 7 principles of Kwanzaa.
For dreidel spinners. For carolers.
For the festival of lights.
For gift wrappers.
For givers, for receivers.
For families. For friends.
For sleigh bells.
For silent nights.
For peace on earth.
For all of us.
For everyone.
After Dad's heart attack, we wondered if he could handle things alone. We thought a nursing home was necessary, but he didn't want to give up his independence. Now the small pendant he wears around his neck calls Acadian Ambulance at the touch of a button. Acadian On Call was a gift of security and independence for him and peace of mind for us. Independence is important to my dad, and my dad is important to us.
Acadian On Call, preserving independence, enhancing quality of life.
Welcome back, everyone. We play midway through the third quarter. Scott Pendarvis turns and hands to Luke Lawton. Big Luke rumbles forward across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Along with Marty Briggs and Dan Boubany, I'm Len Rollins. Quarterfinal action coming your way from jam-packed Cowboy Stadium. Marty, it's not gotten warmer, but the wind has subsided, so it feels a little better now.
Well, when I went down to the field at halftime, I can tell you that, yeah, it felt pretty good down there, relatively speaking, because the wind wasn't buffeting us like it is up here.
Out to the flat it goes, and Britt Broadhead can't handle the high pass. Scott Pendarvis continues to have some problems putting it right on the numbers. He has been high with a lot of throws tonight.
His numbers have been absolutely atrocious this evening. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to think that Ryan Corcoran's going to make a return to the game, and we'll see the Cowboys try and throw it almost exclusively to get back into this. The clock is ticking down, just 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and they can't wait all night or until the fourth quarter to try and start throwing and putting points on the scoreboard.
Pendarvis, so steady during the year, takes the shotgun snap, has a pocket, rolls to his right, looking, and just dumps it away. That was beyond the line of scrimmage, so that's a legal pass.
And Luke Lawton is absolutely screaming downfield. He thought he was wide open, and I got to agree with him.
Unfortunately, he was 2 hash marks away. It would have been a long overland throw for Pendarvis, and running away from it. Luke Lawton was way downfield. He was open, but I don't know that there's a quarterback who could have gotten him that ball.
Well, I agree with you there. The center race, once again, look at the numbers. We're getting closer to the end, and it's a dead heat.
Landrew now with a 7,000 vote lead. Here's the kick. Oh, another beauty by Jason Cook. Heidelberger backpedals, takes it at the 22, steps out of one tackle, runs into another one, and he's gang tackled at the 29-yard line.
A McNeese defender right at his feet, and yet Heidelberger was still able to squirm away and pick up about 5 yards.
Jason Cook has really warmed to the task. He's been punting well the last 4 or 5. The problem is he's punted way too much for Cowboy fans.
Well, exactly, 10 punts on the night, but part of the reason is he doesn't have to kick into a wind. You look at all the flags around the stadium, and they're at a dead standstill. So the wind has died down significantly here tonight, and it's just a rather pleasant 46 or 45 degrees, I'm guessing.
John Edwards, the senior quarterback, works the draw, ducks under a tackle, and is down at the 34-yard line. He picked up about 4 on the play. Edwards has thrown for over 3,100 yards prior to this game, a 58.5% passer. When he's under center, and it doesn't happen very often, but when he's under center, look at the way he sets up. And both Montana quarterbacks, Neal and Edwards, are coached to have that left leg cocked behind them. I think we'll get a chance to look at it right here.
It's almost like they're getting ready to get into passing position before they even take the football.
See, they're in a 3-quarter stance right there. Waller running down immediately as he was smacked by Tyree Broden. Great play by Broden getting into the backfield.
You know, if you're Montana right now, you don't necessarily have to throw the football. You want to run some time off the clock. You want to burn the clock. So although this isn't going to get them big yardage, and it may not move the ball down the field, it's eating time, some valuable and precious time that the McNeese Cowboys could use to maybe do something offensively. So far, they haven't been able to do that tonight, but let's hope they can turn that around.
You know what this quarterback stance reminds me of? Kind of like a relief pitcher or someone pitching from the stretch, you know, when they do the angle.
Exactly.
You can't see it here because he's in shotgun formation. Although it is kind of a cocked stance with this. Edwards on 3rd and long. Escapes one tackler, dancing, trying to run, picking up some blocking, and he's hit hard. He goes down at the 36. Hadley Prince cracked him. He is short of a first down, so once again, McNeese stands to get the ball back.
I've got to also think that the McNeese defense is rather tired tonight. They've been on the field an awful lot. They've held up well, and they've played a lot of people. But, you know, the offense has got to do something. And as I look over on the McNeese sideline, I see Ryan Corcoran warming up. So just like I thought, it looks like he's going to come into the ball game and expect the Cowboys to start throwing the football.
Let's see if BJ can shake loose here. High snap, but no rush. The kick is away, and it's a nice one. Spencer backs Sams up to the 18, gives ground to the 15. Looking for a wall, gives ground to the 10, and goes down at the 6 or 7 yard line.
So what did he do? Ran backwards by about 10 to 15 yards? He had the ball, it looked like, around the 20 or 15 yard line, and yet he just ran almost back. He had nowhere to go, about the 20. And at this point, you can't see it on this replay, but he had nothing but Montana defenders in front of him.
Look at the skid marks there.
And so
but you're right. He ran backward and tried to get to the wall, which was set up on the left side, but just had to give too much ground to get there and never did. So the Cowboys are 94 yards away from their first score of the night.
And here he is, Ryan Corcoran. And I've got to admit, it's now or never, I would think, for the Cowboys. They're going to have to throw the football.
Let's check Corcoran's numbers in the first half. He played a couple of series.
In the first half, he was 4 for 9 for 40 yards, his longest completion of 18 yards.
Jacob Prim turns the wing, and he runs for 8 or 9. He is just short of a first down. That's one of the best running plays of the night for the Cowboys on first down.
Corcoran started his career out of Lake Charles Barbe High School at Northeast Louisiana, and it was during his time up at UL Monroe that the university changed the name. But he transferred back. Last year was his first year with the Cowboys program, and now he's seen significant playing time this year.
Luke Lawton barrels up into the middle, and he's got enough for the first down.
I'll tell you what, they can run that play all night long, but all it does is eat some time off the clock and moves the Cowboys only 2 or 3 yards. Although there it was valuable because it gave the Cowboys a first down.
17-0 Montana, 3:51 remains in the third quarter. The fewest points the Cowboys got in the first half this season was 7 against Nebraska. And McNeese was shut out in the first half against Montana and gave up a golden opportunity to score in the final seconds. Prim crashes up into the middle, crosses the 20, gets to the 21 or 22, and it appears the Cowboys still want to establish the run and try to make something happen in conventional fashion. There was the backup end, Herb Fernandez, who made the tackle.
Cowboys will look at that 1st and goal from the 2-yard line right before the end of the first half, and they'll really regret that the fact they didn't get some points on the scoreboard.
Martin makes the catch on one knee at the 31. That's enough for the first down. The sure-handed Jermaine Martin, the all-time McNeese career reception leader, 8th in the Southland Conference all-time, had to go to a couple of knees, but protected the football nicely.
What's remarkable here, Lynn, is it reminds me of the '94 playoff meeting between these two teams. The Cowboys were down 27-7 in the fourth quarter. Kerry Joseph throws 3 touchdown passes. Cowboys go up 28-27 with just a very short amount of time on the clock, only to lose on a field goal with just 27 seconds remaining.
Corcoran is pressured and heaves it for Martin in double coverage. That ball is knocked down, and it was fortunate for the Cowboys that it was not intercepted by Johnny Peoples. Peoples is number 27, and you can see the pressure. Peoples had a shot at it.
Once again, a look at the U.S. Senate races. The precincts reporting now. Almost all of them were inching up there, and again, a dead heat.
Yeah, about 25% of the precincts to go, wouldn't you say?
I would guess. I wasn't a math major, not very good at math, but yeah, I'll take your word for that. Still a very close race.
Indeed. 2nd and 10, play action. Corcoran wings it to the outside. Sams has it at midfield, turns upfield, and is run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That's the longest play of the night for the Cowboys.
Well, that's what the Cowboys have been waiting for. They've needed something like this to give them a spark. There's B.J. Sams all alone, wide open. And again, the attitude is, let's just give it to Sams and let's see the young man make something happen. It's a sound game plan. Cowboys should avail themselves of it more often.
Trey Young ripped it out of Sams's hands on the sideline, but the play stands at the 35, 1st and 10. 2:24 to go, third quarter. Montana 17, McNeese nothing. Prim probes the middle and runs right into traffic. Blake Horgan, the nose tackle, got him. It is very unusual for a nose tackle to be second on the team in tackles, but that's the case with Horgan, a 6'3", 275-pound sophomore. He is very, very good in the middle defensively.
Well, he certainly is, and that's a big man, but he obviously is very mobile, and he has the strength to... He has the ability to move people out of the way.
2nd down and 10 from the 35. Corcoran, short drop, looking, lobs to the corner, caught inside the 5, touchdown, B.J. Sams.
A thing of beauty there for the Cowboys, just like I thought would happen. Corcoran comes in, he's going to throw the football, and he goes to his big play receiver. Sams over the shoulder catch and is able to just get it into the end zone for a touchdown. Hopefully that will wake up not only the crowd but the Cowboys as well.
It's the 3rd touchdown reception of the season from the junior B.J. Sams, and the 4th touchdown throw by Ryan Corcoran. John Marino's extra point is up, and it is good for the 47th time in 50 tries. So, with 1:39 remaining in the third quarter, the Cowboys are on the scoreboard, trailing by 10, 17-7.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Cowboys really needed that, and it's coming at a good time. You certainly didn't want to go into the fourth quarter trailing by 17 points. You don't want to go into the fourth quarter trailing at all, but if you have to, hey, I'd rather trail by 10 points than 17 points.
Marty, you hate to look back, but how big was that missed opportunity at the end of the first half had the Cowboys even dented the scoreboard there?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is a spark now. The crowd comes to life. The Montana folks who are sitting right below us have been standing up the whole night. The Cowboy fans have been sitting down waiting for something to happen, and now you start to see them come to life a little bit.
99 seconds remain in the third quarter, and the Cowboys get to the scoreboard, trailing 17-7 on a touchdown reception, a beautiful catch by B.J. Sams over the shoulder at the end zone right corner.
The offensive line gave Corcoran enough time to throw, and he was able to find his receiver. And what's remarkable to me is now the receivers are starting to get open.
Marino sends it on its way. It's a short kick. Heidelberger has it at the 18, and he is submarined at the 25. Now a flag comes in well after the play, and I think there may be a late block or some extracurricular activity on one of the Grizzlies. It looked like somebody was hitting after the play.
Well, this could be another momentum builder for the Cowboys.
There it is. That is Montana's.
And it is against Montana.
It's Montana's Jaton Simpson, a freshman tight end on special teams who was engaged in activity after the whistle.
Well, those are going to be costly penalties for the Grizzlies, much like they were for the Cowboys in the first half.
After the play, personal foul, hit. Underneath. 1st and 10, Montana.
No.
First down for the Grizzlies at the 13-yard line.
The crowd's coming to life. Listen to the noise it's making. They smell blood now.
And Brandon Neal is the quarterback for Montana. He'll throw on first down, hands it off to the tailback on a draw, and he picks his way out over the 20 to the 22. Finally tackled by Keith Smith. Good run by Waller. And again, Waller is that type of guy who just looks for a little hole, looks to hide behind blockers, and then he sneaks out from the backside.
Well, a short, stocky little guy. He kind of hides behind his offensive lineman, and he's kind of hard to pick up coming out of the backfield.
He sort of runs like Emmitt Smith, doesn't he?
Yeah, he reminds me of Emmitt Smith, the way he kind of glides around.
2nd and 1 after the 9-yard draw. Waller again comes to the backside. Down he goes. Good pursuit by the Cowboys. That charge led by Fairchild defensively.
Fairchild's been pretty active tonight. We've called his name a couple of times. Rod Gully, 2nd team All-Southland Conference, number 10. The man with 10 interceptions this year has been kind of quiet tonight. We haven't called his name at all, nor have we called the name of Hadley Prince too often. So it looks like Montana's game plan was to stay away from those players and head for Chris White or Ashiel Fairchild.
3rd and a long yard for the Grizzlies. Brandon Neal, short drop, pressured, fires, batted down at the line of scrimmage. Zeno, and that's his 2nd reroute of a pass in this game.
Well, he is so tall and so agile. He's able to jump up and knock that ball down.
Neal looking right all the way, and Zeno backpedal, got into the passing lane and swatted it down. And now you feel the momentum starting to be on the side of the home team.
Well, I'll tell you what, 5 seconds left to go in the third quarter before the Cowboys have to change ends of the field. This side of the field's been good to them. Hopefully Sams can do something with this punt.
From the 39. Cut down at the 41. Superb coverage by Montana on special teams play. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter. The Cowboys trail 17-7. We'll be right back on KPLC as you see Sams go down at his own 42-yard line.
I can't hear you all through there. So.
Wow, $48,000. That's how much you could save by refinancing right now, depending on what your rate is currently. Call us at AFI Mortgage for a free consultation. We'll visit with you for a few minutes, and we'll let you know if refinancing is an option for you. Hey, it's easy to do. We need 3 pieces of paper, and we can get this done for you in a matter of 15 to 16 working days. 300 million in home loans. That's how many we've done. Please call us 494-5626 or www.absolutelowеstrate.com.
Listen up, car buyers. Billy Navarre has some fantastic holiday news for you. Chevrolet just extended 0% financing for 5 years. 0 down payment and no payments until February 2003. For the entire month of November, 0, 0, 0, no interest, no down payment, and no payments until February. Add these tremendous savings to Billy Navarre's already low-volume prices, and you'll enjoy the holiday season and a new Chevrolet with payments and savings you don't want to miss. Shop and save big at Billy Navarre Chevrolet in Lake Charles and Sulphur.
If you've been on a collision course, go to the source for collision repair, Lloyd Lau Collision Repair Center. As an I-CAR certified collision repair center with ASC certified technicians, Lloyd Lau puts 28 years experience into the repair of all automotive makes and models, including motorhomes and diesel rigs. All paint and body work has a lifetime guarantee, and you can take advantage of fleet contracts and discounts. And they even have experienced insurance claim handlers to help ease all your worries. It's Sulphur.
McNeese faces a 10-point deficit as we start the 4th quarter. Ryan Corcoran fakes, looking, firing. It is caught by Martin. Holds on. And
you know, we're going to see that one on ESPN's Top 10 Plays of the Night.
It was though a landmine went off when he caught the ball. Look at the hit, and Martin latches onto it.
Wow. That's unbelievable. That was one heck of a catch.
After a big hit, Burt running right, tries to dive forward, maybe gets a well at the line of scrimmage. This is an underrated defensive team.
Well, it really is, and they're doing a very good job of keeping the Cowboys in check. However, I'm starting to feel a little momentum shift here. Corcoran stays in the ball game. Obviously, like the Cowboy coaching staff likes what he's bringing to the team.
Mary Landrew is feeling a little momentum shift as well with a slight lead. Corcoran looking, throws it, caught by Sams at the 40, dancing, and draws triple team coverage finally at about the...
And if you wonder why Corcoran's in the ball game, check out these 3rd quarter stats now. Pendarvis, 2 of 15 on the night for 20 yards. One of those passes going for 13 yards.
And the 4th. McNeese has 11 first downs, Montana only 8. Toss back, Trahan running left. Squirts through a hole, dives ahead, first down, Cowboys at the 29-yard line. And now these Cowboys are starting to play like Southland Conference champions.
They certainly are. Why it took them so long to get started tonight, I don't know.
Give the Grizzlies some credit for that. McNeese trailing by 10, still a long way to go, 13:31 to go in this 4th quarter. Halftime lead, advanced it to 17-0 before Sams caught a touchdown pass. From the 28, first down, Trahan, huge hole up the middle, across the 25. Trahan was able to find good blocking from Davis, Sawyer, and Roden.
Good run by Marcus Trahan right up the live now.
2nd and about 2. Lawton barrels his way to the 20. He's just short of a first down.
Well, the Cowboys now feel comfortable enough to just run the ball and gain the few 2 or 3 yards that they can every time.
12 minutes and 33 seconds remain in this quarterfinal game, the last in Kentucky.
And the winner of this game takes on Villanova, who defeated Fordham 24-10.
3rd and 1. Trahan running left, burrows as he gets to the 20, leaning to the 19. This will be close. I think he's going to be a little bit shy of the needed yardage.
I do too. It's like definitely about a yard away from a first down. And I'll tell you right now, if I'm the Cowboys, I don't even think about anything but going for it.
If I'm the Cowboys, I ask for a measurement, even though it is clear that it's not good enough for the first down. That stops the clock. At any rate,
what do you say this goes to Luke Lawton, number 44?
It wouldn't be a bad choice. 4th and a couple. Secondary touchdown. There is a penalty marker down. There is a penalty marker at the 15-yard line.
It looks like it's going to be a holding on the Cowboys. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Montana was celebrating, but now the Cowboys are, because it looks like it's on Montana.
It's a face mask. Face mask against Montana, the touchdown.
On the defense.
There it is.
Penalties declined. Touchdown.
Actually, he didn't really grab the face mask, but we'll take it.
So a 19-yard touchdown run by Luke Lawton. Right up the gut on 4th and inches. Great blocking on the right side, and
Certainly did. I'm on fire tonight, Lynn. I'm predicting how the Cowboys are going to play this game, and that was a good call by them to give it to Lawton and let him take it on into the
11:35 remaining in the 4th quarter. It's a 3-point game. Montana, the defending champion, by 3.
Every city has a story to tell, with plenty of news to go with it. Today more than ever, it's important to stay current and informed with the but few deliver. Get the whole story for so little, a seemingly timeless source that you've depended on for years. The American press is still the best source for the most in-depth news coverage that matters most to you. It just makes sense to subscribe today.
All I wanted was a checking account. So were all the questions. The lady said the more she knows about me, the easier it is to give me a checking account that fits. And I think, terrific. Because let's face it, I've always been a little hard to fit.
Treating you better. It's what we do best. Cameron State Bank. Personal banking at its best.
I have to focus. Gather everything I've learned. All my successes. All my sacrifices. All my pain. And concentrate that energy into one moment. That's the moment I'll use every single day of my life. There are 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Luke Lawton's 19-yard touchdown run, his 7th of the season, has pulled the Cowboys to within 3, 17-14, with a lot of time left in the 4th quarter.
11:35 to be exact. The Cowboys now certainly are in a position to get back in this ball game, and they've got the time to do it.
Marino sends it on its way out to the 42 or 43-yard line is Zickman.
And that was John Marino, the place kicker, having to make that stop. And there's a flag on the play.
Rory Zickman with the big return. And let's check the penalty marker. 11 minutes and 24 seconds are left. These are Southern Conference officials. We've got a personal foul against the Cowboys. This will add more yardage and give Montana working room on the Cowboys' end of the field to get this drive going.
After play, sportsmanlike conduct. 10-yard penalty. Be 1st and 10, Montana.
Marty, I didn't see it, but it's just not a smart play.
Well, I'm wondering if it might have been John Marino involved in that. He was the man who made the tackle, and he was the one who got up protesting a little bit. I didn't see it either, but I'm wondering if he might be the culprit there.
Montana with a short field. Brandon Neal returns to quarterback. Pump fake, looking, hit as he fires deep. It is caught at the 5-yard line. Oh, what a grab. What a throw.
That was an amazing grab by Tyler Peterson, the sophomore out of Helena, Montana. Over the shoulder, turned Chris White. No, that's not Chris White.
That's Keith Smith.
Keith Smith, rather, out of Leesville. Turned him right around.
So Montana gets a nice kickoff return from Zickman, gets 15 yards on a penalty, gets a long throw, and suddenly it's 1st and goal. 11:10 to play. Neal turns, hands to Waller, running up the middle, and is dumped at about the 7, a loss by Waller.
Rod Royal had a bead on him, and yet he couldn't make the play. Waller was able to at least
see the pin to the end of getting in there and disrupting the flow.
Well, this Cowboy defense has really got to come up big. It's really got to come up big in this position.
It's got to keep Montana out of the end zone. Montana with a 3-point lead. Here's the fade for Talmadge, just out of his reach. Interesting pattern there. Talmadge hesitated, That ball was actually in the air before Talmadge even started the pattern.
Well, it's a timing play, obviously, and so Neal just wanted to loft it up and let Talmadge in time to go get that football. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. We don't want Montana to make that grab, obviously.
That's like an outfielder in baseball catching fungos.
Exactly. So a big play.
17-14, Montana leads, 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line. Neal on a draw, works to the 5, and the Cowboys dump him right there.
And going nowhere.
Again, initial penetration by B.J. McNutt. McNutt didn't get in on the tackle, but he certainly made John Paul Jones the last Cowboy getting off the pile.
Chris Snyder now going to come in and attempt the field goal. And although the Cowboys, a field goal is certainly better than a touchdown now. Snyder attempting a 25-yard field goal.
He's had 2 blocked this year. He hit one earlier from outside 40 yards. That one is away, almost knocked down, but it's good. And so the Cowboys give up 3, but it could have been worse. Keith Smith almost knocked that one away. Montana by 6. We'll be right back.
Looking to make this a Christmas to remember? Dreaming of a vacation, but your wallet is keeping you home? Planning a big purchase? Think first. We offer loans for all reasons. And for a limited time, no club perk.
Hey, I'm talking $79.99 and the biggest selection of go-karts. Fifth wheels and goose polish black, stainless, Louis blackboards, and full length in stainless and black at lower prices. Go to Falks, go to Falks, go.
Got great deals on new sport and utility ATVs. Qualified buyers can get $29 payments for the first 6 months with a Honda card, or fixed APR through Honda bonus bucks when you purchase select models. But hurry, get
saved at Honda of Lake Charles.
Jermaine Martin and Marcus Trahan are at the goal line waiting after the field goal. Trey, 20, 30, 35. Good starting position for the Cowboys.
A big return for Mark Race. Almost all of the precincts reporting now. Just about 400 left, 51% of the vote. In pretty good field position. Now it's time for them to march it downfield and see what they can do.
9 minutes enter. Corcoran back, throws it to the outside. It is tipped at the line of scrimmage and deflected. It was intended for Broadhead, but it was that defensive end, Tim Bush, that football.
He's a big get down. Broadhead never had an opportunity to get near that football.
Montana with 1 senior, 6 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 2 freshmen among their defensive starters. 22 starters on both sides of the ball.
You know, Vic King did not carry very strongly there. At the time, they've been sending him right up the gut, right through the line of
Trahan, who has run with the most or certainly effectiveness.
I don't think he has been as successful as Trahan.
3rd down and long. So Corcoran fires it deep. It is underthrown, intercepted, picked off on the 40, and stepping out of bounds is Johnny Peoples.
Well, now Martin didn't even turn around to look.
An underthrown ball to the outside. You can see Martin behind the secondary, but the ball was thrown to the outside. Peoples makes the interception for Montana. There's 6.
So here come Montana. Here come the Grizzlies. They're in good field position there at the Cowboys. Rather, they're at their own 44-yard line.
That's only the 2nd pick suffered by Corcoran the entire year.
Well, he's a pretty accurate passer. He wasn't on that play.
Brandon Neal is back under center. He's changing the play. Seconds to get the snap going. Here comes the blitz. Royal misses. Fumble! Cowboys may be on it.
No, Neal was there.
It's Neal. Neal managed to get this.
You know, Lynn, so I'm wondering, is there something wrong with Edwards? But he's standing on the sideline. He looks like he's fine.
They've got 2 good seniors, and they use them both, although certainly it's been Edwards most of the time this year. Oh, how big would a turnover have been there?
Very big.
Here comes the blitz. Down goes Waller in the backfield at the 40. Taken down by McNutt, and has he come alive?
I kind of like what the Cowboys are doing because they're really being aggressive now. Now you see them not sitting back and saying, okay, Montana, take your shot. They're actually attacking Montana and say, look, you're going to do what we allow you to do.
McNutt, an all Southland cop, and was intractable at the line of scrimmage.
Now, you know,
team that will throw anywhere, any down, but first they'll take a timeout. It comes with 7:17 remaining in the fourth quarter. Don't you dare go away now.
At the Popeyes Chicken Festival, you won't find any deals on buckets of bland, boring chicken. Just Popeyes kicking New Orleans-style chicken. This chicken rocks! And right now, you can get special deals on Popeyes' unique flavor. Get 3 pieces and a biscuit for only $2.79. Or get Popeyes fried chicken for only $10.99. That's 13 pieces for only $10.99.
At Jeff Davis Bank, we're always ready with a firm handshake and a friendly face. You can trust us with what you've built for your business, for your family. When it comes to convenience, we know your time is valuable, so we're here to make your life easier with ATMs, online banking, and locations with drive-thrus and extended hours when you need to see us face-to-face. It's about...
If you want to put something under the tree that everybody will enjoy, check out the Onkyo Home Theater Experience at CNC Audio Video and Appliance. Digital surround sound that brings you the total movie experience to your living room. With over 50 years of audio engineering excellence, Onkyo brings you a sound system that can't get any better. So make these holidays happy for everybody in the family and give the quality of Onkyo, backed by the solid reputation of your business. Where's Santa?
This is one of the most important plays of the game, 3rd and 13 for the Grizzlies at their own 40. Richard runs out of time, runs out of room. He's sacked back at the 33-yard line.
Big defensive play there by Tim Kennebrew, defensive end out of Newton, Texas. He's a junior, 6'4", 231, and great speed. Look how he closes down on Neal and doesn't let him throw the football.
It's tough to get a sack with a rolling pocket, but Tim Kennebrew, the defensive end, records his 4th sack of the season. And now the Cowboys have time and a chance to score, get into the end zone for their first lead.
Cowboys certainly would take a field goal, although that's not going to help them. Again, we take a look at the U.S. Senate race. Once again, all the precincts are about to report, and Mary Landrieu holds on to that slight edge, 51% to 49%.
About a 27,000 vote lead. Rodney Alexander and Lee Fletcher locked up in a very close one. Look at that. All precincts reporting, and Alexander has about a 500 vote lead, the unofficial winner.
518 votes to be exact. Very close race.
That would be an upset. Sams runs to his left, makes the catch, and is bumped out of bounds immediately at about the 36-yard line. Well, Marty, if the Cowboys win today, you're going to have to get me back for a duck hunt.
I'll tell you what, Lynn, we appreciate the job you've done tonight for KPLC.
Listen, Lake Charles is great. I mean, you can duck.
Absolutely, and watch a little football at the same time.
1st and 10.
Then if you wanted to just hang out and tailgate all day, you'd have that opportunity as well.
Indeed. 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Ryan Corcoran, short drop, guns it over the middle, batted down. That one was clipped on its way downfield by Adam Hogue, the outside linebacker. Hogue, number 50, gets a paw on this one.
Corcoran really didn't have a very clear passing lane. It was just littered with Montana defenders between he and his receiver, and so kind of a risky pass right there.
Intended for Sams on the crossing route. Peoples was chasing him, but Hogue dropped nicely. There you see the linebacker Hogue. Corcoran, Trahan running, cuts, nice cut, still turning with continued effort, fumbles at the end of the play, but he gets up to about the 45, and it's interesting that Trahan is back in the game. He has been the most effective runner in the second half for the Cowboys.
I was going to say, it looks like the McNeese coaches were listening to you, because Trahan has been the most effective tonight, and he's back in there, and he's churning out some pretty good yardage.
Oh, it's so nice to have the likes of King and Prim and Trahan, all of whom are very capable. King, of course, with the huge numbers during the regular season, banged up a little bit the last couple of weeks. Trahan has done a nice job in relief. He'll try it again. Cuts up field, gets to the 47. That's going to be very, very close.
Well, now in this situation, I would think the officials would want to measure on their own if that's not a first down, but it looks like they're convinced and they're moving the chains. Once again, a look at the center reporting. And Mary Landreau is...
6 minutes and 40 seconds are left. First down, McNeese. The Cowboys operating from their own 40. To the outside, Sams has it. Turns upfield to the 30, far sideline to the 20. First down.
We must have had a busted coverage by Montana there because Sams was wide open. Wide open, nobody around him. We probably had one of the defenders fall down, and that's exactly what happened. And Sams now has the Cowboys poised within the 20-yard line.
That's the 5th reception of the night for Sams. In the red zone are the Cowboys. They have been very, very good in the red zone this year. 47 opportunities, or 47 scores in 58 opportunities. Lawton rumbling, tripped up at the 13. Prior to tonight, the Cowboys had been inside the opposition's 20-yard line 58 times with 38 touchdowns and 9 field goals. A big red zone opportunity at the end of the first half did not go the way the Cowboys wanted it.
No, not at all. When you're, once again, first and goal on the 2-yard line and don't get in or don't get any points, that doesn't say much for your offense.
Sams in the flat, gets rid of one tackler, crosses the 10, first down, first and goal, near the 8-yard line. And these Cowboys are energized now. Good throw by Corcoran.
You know, the one thing I've got to wonder, though, Lynn, is where has this team been all night? Because what we're seeing right now is not the team that's been here for most of the first half. And I'm wondering if it was the weather, or maybe it was the nerves, or maybe it was just great Montana defense. But it's taken a long time for the team to warm up.
5.5 minutes to play. Lawton knocked down at the 6. Montana looking for that one, but boy, does Lawton dish some punishment, doesn't he?
Well, that's a big boy. You know, when you consider that a man who...
6 foot, 248 pounds.
That's a big young man. And all he takes is a few steps of a head start, and he's got a little momentum.
Bread has gone down that gullet.
Absolutely.
Second and goal. Sams in motion. Out of the eye. Stops in the slot. Play action. Corcoran pressured. Has to throw it and eats it back at the 12. Not a good decision by Corcoran, who had time to throw it away.
And I could see that he was looking for his tight end, Jeff Hamilton, straight across the middle of the field. But Hamilton had a defender on him. And so that made Corcoran have to scramble out, and he was caught by the defense.
At some point, you've just got to say, okay, I'll throw it away and cut the losses here, because they've got to get into the end zone to take the lead. 4:24 to go.
Exactly. That was a left. I don't know that you consider field goal. I don't think that's an option for you.
We'll see what this play brings. Third and goal from the 12 yards, and whistle stop the play before it gets started. I'm not sure.
I would think that's a procedure call.
Generally so.
Prior to the snap, delay of game on the offense.
Wow.
Violation of 25-second clock.
Wow.
5-yard penalty, still third down.
A 25-second play clock violation. Well, you knew Corcoran did not want to have to spend a timeout, so it was probably wise that he didn't use one. He was looking at the play clock and just couldn't get the snap in time.
3rd and 12 or 3rd and 17 to me doesn't make a whole lot of difference. And I don't know necessarily that you want to go for the end zone right here. If you can get about 10 yards, then you're 4th and goal from like the 5.
Corcoran looking, firing deep to the outside. Touchdown, B.J. Sams.
Is this man remarkable?
Now the Cowboys have to be careful not to get an exuberance penalty here after the touchdown. A throw to an open spot, and Sams was there.
B.J. Sams is so electrifying. This is his show tonight. He's created so much for the Cowboys, who are now poised to go on top for the first time all night.
Can you believe it? Montana led 17-0 early in the third quarter, and the Cowboys can take their first lead. Marino bangs it. It is good.
That might have been the most important extra point in Marino's career.
21-20, McNeese has rallied from 17 down in the third quarter, and still 3:45 to go. There you see Monty, the hyperactive mascot. He's up for National Mascot of the Year honors, and believe it
what, Monty's a little worried right now.
You better believe it.
Monty doesn't like to see his team trailing, and once again, a gutty performance by the Cowboys in the second half. It took them a while, but now here's the big thing, Lynn. We're talking about the Cowboys on top, but there's still 3 minutes and 45 seconds left.
It's been a defense which has refused to wilt in the second half despite a lot of adversity. It's been Sams getting open and catching balls. It's been Corcoran finding some open receivers. It's been Trahan running well out of the tailback spot, and it's been some good blocking.
Absolutely, and I applaud the decision by the coaches to say, Scott Pendarvis, you are our quarterback. You have been our quarterback all year. You have gotten us to this point, but face it, son, you haven't performed like we expect you to tonight. We're going to go with somebody else. And Ryan Corcoran has come in and done an excellent job.
Between the hash marks, looking for a block. 20, dragged down from behind at the 23-yard line.
Number 43 for the Cowboys, Kenny Jones, a freshman out of high school, a true freshman, strong safety. Berger is a very dangerous returner, and he's made some big yardage tonight.
He's not fast, but he's very smart.
John Edwards back in the ballgame for Montana.
From the 24, first down Grizzlies. Edwards pressured, scoots to his right. Flag goes down behind the play. Edwards is tackled way outside the line. That's going to bring another flag. And again, that is just not smart play by the defense hitting the quarterback. They're going to call it, and they hit, so instead of the holding penalty, it's going to be a negated deal, and they'll start it all over again.
Exactly. John Skinner of Montana clearly held up Jimmy Abram, who was trying to get to Edwards. And then the play, obviously the late hit on the gift there, and once again they turned around and gave it right back.
Well, it's huge. Instead of 1st and 20, now it's 1st and 10. The officials are discussing it. We assume it was a late hit on the sideline. And there you see the updated U.S. Senate race, only about 100 the 20,000, 21,000 vote lead. I think what they're discussing here is that
on the offense, that's a 10-yard penalty.
See, that's during the play, and then
After
the other one is a dead ball
foul. Foul. Late hit on the defense, 15 yards. We'll administer that. We'll administer both the live ball foul and the dead ball foul. It'll be automatic first down.
Yep, so it's actually a 5-yard. It amounts to a 5-yard advance and a first down for Montana when it could have been 1st and 20. So those things are big. They are huge in championship caliber football.
Well, especially right now. You know Montana has the explosiveness to score at any time. 3 minutes and 26 seconds left in the game is almost a lifetime for this team. They're certainly not going to panic. They can take their time and be methodical and take this game clock all the way down to nothing if they want.
Scrimmage is the 29 for the Grizzlies. It would have been back near the 10-yard line.
Wow. Amazing. So basically we were talking a 19-yard swing there.
And a first down. And no question that Edwards was hit well after he was run out of bounds.
And now, if you're Montana, you don't have to go down the field thinking for you need a touchdown. All you need to do is get it within field goal.
57 yards has been Snyder's best. Early movement, it appeared, on the right side of the line, as it looked like the linemen came up and were backpedaling in pass protection.
Now that's John Skinner. That's the man who got the holding penalty, and once again he's going up against Jimmy Abram. So perhaps those two have been having words tonight. Abram is a very quick and a guy with a lot of agility. He played a year on the McNeese basketball team.
Snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And both of those players have to be careful not to get some kind of a personal foul call against them.
This is when your physical and mental skills must come into play.
Exactly. An official's timeout right now.
3 minutes and 26 seconds remain in the fourth quarter.
And I believe the officials are going to tell both teams, listen, fellas, look, it's been a well-played ball game. Don't let your emotions get out of control. Stop the little ticky-tack things, and let's just play football.
And this is good officiating.
I've never really seen this done before.
I haven't either, but I certainly applaud the effort, and that's exactly the referee called everybody and said, look, we know what's on the line, you know what's on the line, play hard, play clean, and let's let it be decided without flags.
Exactly.
1st and 10 from the 15. Edwards flushed, pumps. He'll have to run, trying to get all he can. He goes down at about the 30, so he picked up the penalty yardage back, but it will be 10 to go for the first down.
Being informed that Mary Landrieu is the projected winner by the Associated Press. So once again, that is not official, but we have just been given word that Mary by the Associated Press.
Second down and 9 from the 30. McNeese by a point. 2:48 to go. Edwards throws. Talmadge can't hold on. It was thrown a little behind him.
Well, I'll tell you what, that would have been a hard catch for Jerry Rice to make.
Hadley Prince in coverage here, but the ball was delivered behind the receiver, Talmadge.
You know, last week Hadley Prince was awful quiet as well, and I don't think that's because he wasn't performing. It's just that these teams are trying to stay away. They know what he can do. They know what he's all about. He's a very talented young man, a Buck Buchanan Award finalist. He just hasn't had an opportunity to make the plays because the plays haven't been coming toward him.
A very smart guy in the classroom, too. Here comes the blitz. Edwards goes down at the 19-yard line. It was a jailbreak from the secondary. And Edwards, who came coming, Rod Gully. Rod Gully was in on it, and you see the initial contact by Ryan Garrison, the middle linebacker.
And Rod Royal did a good job of fighting through. He was the point of penetration, and he caused the linemen to shift their attention toward him, allowing Gully and the like to come through and make the tackle.
Garrison probably will get credit for that sack. His fourth. Fake throw, incomplete. Oh, it was there. It was there. The Grizzlies going into their bag of tricks, tried to throw it downfield. The receiver was wide open, but the pass was off the mark. And the Cowboys, who were fooled, catch a break when Montana cannot work that trick play.
Well, that wasn't even really a pass. That was more like a shot put, Lynn. And what's amazing is that if you're success, and if you succeed on that, you look red zone, and this game could be over.
It was Brent Myers who was open, but he could not get the ball in catchable territory. Luke Lawton crashes up into the middle.
Montana
not much there. You're right. 2 timeouts with which to work. The Cowboys spend one right here. Or excuse me, the Grizzlies spend one. The Cowboys have 3 left in this game. The ball is in the middle of the field at the 20-yard line. This has been one whale of a comeback for the Cowboys, who appeared to be buried in the third quarter. Nothing.
Once again, you see the U.S. Senate race. Once again, the Associated Press is giving the race to Mary Landrieu, although there are approximately 107 precincts yet to report.
2 touchdown catches by Sams. A touchdown bolt up the middle by Luke Lawton, and that's how the Cowboys have rallied in the second half.
Well, I don't know what was said at halftime, but whatever was said, it worked. And the Cowboys look like a totally different team in this second half. And I really admire the job that Corcoran has done coming off the bench on a cold night and really kind of steadying everything. The players seem to have really responded to him. And, you know, once again, that's not to take away from the efforts of Scott Pendarvis. It just wasn't working tonight for whatever reason.
1:54 to play. 1 timeout for the Grizzlies. Prim staying in bounds, staying on his feet. And finally, the whistles sound. Montana will spend its final timeout, I'm sure, right here. 104 seconds separating McNeese from Villanova on this field next week in one of 2 semifinal games.
Well, I can assure you of this. The Cowboys will run the ball on the very next play to keep the clock running, and I'm not so sure that that's a bad move. And that will burn about, those seconds, 35 to 40 seconds. Then, when they get the 4th down, I'm pretty confident also that they'll let that 25-second clock run down. They'll take a 5-yard penalty for delay of game and then probably attempt the field goal.
And I'm not even sure that they will attempt a field goal. Well, we'll see how many seconds are remaining when all of it unfolds.
I would agree with that.
1 minute and 44 seconds are left. This has been a remarkable rally by the Cowboys, who were prostrate in the third quarter.
Exactly.
And have gotten off the deck here and have a 1-point lead.
Game tonight with all of Southwest Louisiana. A great crowd here, near a sellout at Cowboy Stadium. But think of all the Cowboy fans who are now able to watch this game throughout Southwest Louisiana.
It's a wonderful thing put together on short notice and an empty stomach by KPLC.
And we did it successfully. Flag on the play now. I'm wondering if that was a delay of game.
McNeese has nothing to lose from a yardage perspective here. Third and about 15 for the Cowboys. The third is important. The yardage to make is point.
Exactly.
21-20, the Cowboys by 1. The guy protects the ball, goes down at the 23. 133 and counting. 4th down. The play clock has not yet been set in motion. Now it is, so they can take it down to about 60 seconds before they'll have to snap it.
Exactly. And then even if you run the ball on the 4th down, now you're going to,
Well, you only get about, whatever the time of the running play, because it's the clock stops on a change of possession. So
right.
It's Cowboys will probably have to defend for about 55 seconds or so.
And I'll tell you what, I don't think it would be such a bad idea to try one of those reverses or something of that effect. You can eke out just a little bit more time.
McNeese takes a timeout, and you can bet that if there's anything that needs to be discussed, McNeese will be stopping the clock to make sure that all of the mental aspects of this final 64 seconds are well covered.
Well, here's something interesting, that John Marino is going to come onto the field to attempt a field goal. This would be approximately a 40-yard kick, certainly within his range, but here's something you've got to consider. It could be blocked, it could be blocked in return for a touchdown, or it could be missed. And there are a lot of risky elements to this. But, of course, if you make it now you're up by 4 points. Montana has no choice but to go for a touchdown. It's a classic case of risk versus reward.
I hope Tommy Tate has better success than my stockbroker.
Exactly.
Matt Gore will hold it. It's away. It is good from 40 yards, just over the crossbar. A 40-yard field goal by John Marino, his 12th of the season. And the Cowboys now force Montana to get into the end zone to win the game with 58 seconds remaining. What a finish this has turned out to be.
Well, it didn't make it by much, but it doesn't matter. It still counts the same on the scoreboard. Those 3 points were huge for the Cowboys. But again, it's no time to relax. It's no time to let up. It's time to keep the pressure on Montana. I don't know if I'd go into the so-called prevent defense and keep everybody back and prevent the long touchdown. I would keep the pressure on, continue the heavy blitzing that the Cowboys have done, and see if they can't.
If you can blitz successfully, if you can force the quarterback time to heave it deep, and I think that's, you might give up some things, forcing the throw to the hot receiver, but at least he has got to get rid of it quickly, as you see the two mascots, the Cowboy and Monty the Bear, and they've done a nice job today.
That's right. Rowdy is certainly having the upper hand against Monty right now.
Yeah, Rowdy loves this.
Oh, he certainly does. As do all these very cold Cowboy fans. Kickoff taken by the up man, and
he's working for some yardage out to about the 35.
To the 35-yard line. It'll be first down, Montana.
From a win here, and they've got 49 seconds to get into the end zone. The Cowboys, conversely, must defend for the next 49 seconds, protecting a 4-point lead. John Edwards is the quarterback. No pressure, fires it over the middle. A diving catch is made near midfield. Heidelberger. No, excuse me. It is Tyler Peterson, the sophomore, with a nice catch over the middle.
Seconds.
And they spike it to get regrouped with 40 seconds remaining. Tyler Peterson with an outstretched catch on his fingertips gets Montana an immediate first down. The Grizzlies are 52 yards away from the end zone.
Well, 52 yards away from the end zone. Had that field goal not been good, then we would have only been talking about 20 or 30 yards before Montana in scoring position and a chance to tie.
Edwards blitz from the corner. Down he goes. Loose football. A lineman is on it for the Grizzlies.
Wow,
the blitz
was he
came
hit
from
by
the outside,
Keith
and
Smith?
he was decked by Smith, his second sack of the season.
Edwards had no idea this was coming. Look at this from nowhere. Keith Smith comes. Edwards obviously shaken, and he drops the ball, and the clock continues. 17 seconds now.
John Skinner recovered it. Edwards back, looking, pumping, chased from behind, throws to the outside. It's grabbed and getting out of bounds at the 48-yard line in McNeese territory is Talmadge.
7 seconds left to go. The Cowboys can't get too excited right now. Beach it, guys. 7 seconds left to go. This is Montana. They've got the ability to chuck it downfield into the end zone. That's the only place they can go right now.
Without a penalty, no more than 2 plays remain in this game.
Exactly.
And for John Edwards. Backpedals. Blitz coming. Edwards steps up. Throws it to the end zone intended for Talmadge. McNeese rallies from 17 back in the third quarter, and the celebration commences at Cowboy Stadium. The final score, McNeese 24. The defending national champion Montana Grizzlies 20.
The Cowboys haven't had a first-round playoff victory in years, since 1997. The last year they made it to the national championship. Now 2 straight victories. The Cowboys are 1 win away from the national championship game. Next week, the Villanova Wildcats come to Cowboy Stadium.
The Cowboys did it with heart. They did it behind Trahan. Sam's catching a couple of touchdown passes. A 19-yard bolt up the middle by Lawton on 4th and inches, and the Cowboys are winners 24-20. We'll be right back to wrap it up on KPLC.
You need to upgrade your existing PC, network your home, or entire business. LB Computers can take care of all your computer needs, including repairs, installation of Cox cable internet, and locating those hard-to-find computer items. LB Computers has the fastest repair turnaround in the Lake area. Don't let those computer problems drag you down this season. Come see LB Computers, where all inventory prices have been slashed just in time for Christmas. LB Computers at 3823 Ryan Street, 2 doors down from Blockbuster Video, or call 474-9744.
Going to halftime.
24-20, that's the happy final for Cowboy fans who were jammed into the stadium. They were sitting on their hands at least through the first half, and then certainly early in the third quarter as the Cowboys had to come from 17 back. Monty, this will be one of the storied returns to a victory by McNeese in its glorious football history.
Well, I'll tell you, this is called snatching victory from the hands of defeat. At halftime, it looked pretty grim for the Cowboys, and it looked pretty grim for the Cowboy fans. Like I said, going through the crowd at halftime, all the people who were just so disgusted with the way the team was playing, and probably rightfully so, because we haven't seen that kind of football played by the Cowboys all year. They were not taking advantage of opportunities. They were penalizing themselves. They were hurting themselves. And yet somehow they found a way to win. They turned things around in the second half, and it was an amazing comeback by the McNeese Cowboys, who now move on to face the Villanova Wildcats next week. Villanova, a 24-10 winner over Fordham. So the semifinals are set. In one bracket, you have Western Kentucky playing Georgia Southern, Villanova against McNeese State.
And I would think the Cowboys and Georgia Southern would be favored in those games, but who can tell after such drama here at Cowboy Stadium? And you know, we've talked about some of the offensive heroes in the second half. Sam's catching the 2 touchdown passes. Lawton running for the touchdown on 4th and inches from 19 yards away. Corcoran coming off the bench and igniting the offense. But let's not forget the job of the offensive line and the defense, which played under so much pressure because the Cowboys, through their first 8 or 10 possessions, literally had to punt almost every time. There were 10 punts very early in the third quarter by the Cowboys.
Jason Cook, I'll tell you, it was a field position game, and he was called on a lot tonight, and he came through in a big way. So many people had a hand in this, and, you know, you just can't say enough about the effort of Corcoran. I thought he really came in and changed the tide for the Cowboys, and once again, they're moving on to the semifinals. They win it tonight by that final of 24-20.
You see some of the happy faces as the Cowboys celebrate. And this is what playoff football is all about. This is what is missed in Division I as you decide these things on the field. And certainly Montana is a worthy defending national champion. This is only the 4th loss that Edwards has sustained in his career. Joe Glenn, after 3 seasons, has averaged 13 victories per year. But it's Tommy Tate and the Cowboys who advance and are 1 game away from a national championship encounter in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Lynn, we want to thank you for your efforts tonight on behalf of KPLC. It was a great time, and we were so happy to be able to bring this to the fans of Southwest Louisiana. Wish we could do it again next week, but ESPN and the boys from the networks take over from here. But once again, thanks for your efforts tonight.
My pleasure, and a whale of a football game. For Marty Briggs and Dan Bubany, I'm Lynn Rollins. Good night from Lake Charles, where the Cowboys are victorious 24-20.
We now return you to our regularly scheduled program.